And we're live.
Hi, friends.
Yay!
Look who's back. Um, I don't know if there's an intro thing I'm supposed to do here, Aram. You're probably better at it than I am,
That's
but
probably a really good point.
yeah.
So, hi, my name is Aram, also known as Ensign Siltec Nol, the Cardassian cowboy, and we are here as part of the USS Initiative, which is a show we did 2 years, 3 years ago.
Two,
Uh,
2 years, I think.
nearly 3 years
Might
ago,
be
I think
three.
now.
Yeah. Time has a habit of doing
Way
that.
back.
Yeah. And that's how most of us met. So when our good friend Darby needed a little bit of help, we decided to bring the team back together, and that's why we are here now, under the amazing leadership of Virginia.
You haven't seen me play a captain in this game. There is no leadership skill there. Trust me, I'm just Kirk all the way through. But no, I'm glad to be back with this fantastic crew. Some of you probably watched that original campaign, and it was a whole ton of fun to play. So I feel very lucky to have everyone back here to play some more, so I can throw them into danger once again and see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're ready to start whenever, unless there's any other information we need to give chat.
Well, the totals on the board underneath Virginia will update every minute live. So if you have donations, we will shout you out. Maybe even Virginia will let you say a little bit of advantage in the game or something if you're really nice. So please watch and donate and just have fun.
Let me know about those as they come in our chat, Aram, and maybe I can make some fun things happen.
Awesome.
Good fun things.
Give Siltec a horse.
At your own peril.
Yeah, that tracks.
If you can find a horse where we're going, I'll be very impressed.
Fair. There's always a holodeck.
There is always a holodeck.
Siltec's trying to push a holodeck and a replicator together. Make me a horse.
Oh no, there's a science experiment gone wrong here. Okay, so I guess we just jump in then, friends. It's probably been a while since you as a crew have been together. Shortly after the last adventures we saw you on, I imagine many of you were moved off to other departments, as is the constant turn of Starfleet, with new ships being commissioned all the time, needing experienced crew members. So I imagine that it's been, probably the best part of 6 months, maybe a year, that you've been away from the initiative. It's been decommissioned to be refitted, outfitted, and you've been split up across other ships. Some of you on diplomatic missions, some of you on exploratory missions, maybe some of you back at Starfleet HQ even, working away in various labs or on various tech. However, all of you one morning awake to having a message sent through your personal comms. It is from Starfleet Command, and the gist of the message is that the initiative has been put back into commission for an emergency rescue, and further details are to follow, but you are to make your way to the nearest dock to board depending on where we find you, to board a shuttlecraft or to board another ship that will take you to the station at which the initiative is currently finishing its refit. And I guess that's where we find you as you arrive at this station and head towards the briefing room. Who would be the first person to arrive? Who's the one who's definitely early on time?
It's probably not Ro.
I feel like Eleira would be. But she's not going to be crazy early. She's going to be 60 seconds before it's time. So she has time to sit down, get everything in order in front of her, and be ready. Also, she has to mentally prepare to see Siltec again.
So you are the first to arrive to this briefing room. It's like any other briefing room that you've seen in Starfleet. There's a selection of panels on the wall of screens, a fairly comfortable large table and chair for you to sit at. As you await everyone else to come in. Where has Eleira been? since we've seen her last, after the initiative is kind of decommissioned for a refit. Where does she get sent off to with Starfleet?
I think she definitely gets sent to well, I'm gonna say this, you can correct me. I assume that she's gonna get sent back to HQ, but more for to help improve things, because the last time there was a lot of issues with holodeck and she was not really feeling that. And so she definitely went back to try and like tell people like, you didn't do your job right, so I'm gonna help you figure out how to do your job right so that we don't have this problem again, because I didn't enjoy that. And so that's probably where she's been. So she hasn't had a lot of time necessarily doing what she wants to do, which is essentially being one with the ship. So she's really excited to get outside of holodeck improvement.
Yeah, so like a more administrative role where your skills come into use, but you're not on ships. You're kind of managing people.
Yeah.
And here you are, going to be soon, hopefully, back aboard the beloved USS Initiative. Who is the next person that comes in as you're kind of sitting there getting everything ready, waiting to see what this is all about?
On time to the second, Siltec comes walking up, and you can hear him coming before he even gets there because the clank of the spurs on his boots. Because what Siltec has been doing this whole time is he's been back in Montana. He's been at the actual museum. He was assigned as help to the museum because there was nowhere to put him during the off time. There was just a little bit of mix up. So when he wasn't basically being a guard at the museum, he was given horseback riding lessons. So he comes back in glistening with sweat down his neck ridges, big old saddle thrown up, like looking for his bunk.
Yeah, I imagine that you were probably pulled straight out of a lesson to be given this message.
Yep.
And made your way to the nearest starbase.
I never checked my email, so they had to literally zap me off the horse.
Somebody had to come out into a field, like some poor officer dressed in a fine uniform, walking through the middle of a field to let you know that you needed to go with him.
100%.
Eleira, this is who comes through the door next. You hear the spurs coming all the way up. You know who it is. There's no one else that this could be. And when the doors slide open, it is Siltec who steps through.
Lieutenant?
Siltec?
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. You gonna break my ship again?
Siltec puts down his saddle. He sees that there's some mud on his boots, and he carefully makes sure it doesn't get on the rug of the ship. No, ma'am. I'm here to serve and be an honorable member of Starfleet.
Okay. And she's like very intensely watching what you're doing with the mud. Like intensely.
He's very careful. Like, he would not have been careful, but now that you're looking at him, he's like self-conscious, so he's really careful.
No, but it will like relax in body posture, because she is gonna she might give you another chance.
I appreciate that, Lieutenant.
But you take a seat at this briefing table. This is not something that is unusual. You have been in these rooms before. Who is next to arrive? Hot on Siltec's heels.
I think Ro will show up next, just a couple of minutes late, like intentionally. Like she's been there on time, but doesn't like to play by the rules to the letter. So she just purposely waits a couple minutes just to be technically late. Walks up to the conference table, does the Riker chair maneuver, and sort of plops down and nods like, Siltec,
Lieutenant Commander, good to see you.
Good to see you too. What's everybody been up to?
Well, I figured you'd be telling us, Commander.
Command? Oh no, I'm still a chief.
Oh, right. I don't know rank. I've only been in Starfleet for 4 years. Still can't figure out rank.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, no, I don't want to be a commander. That's too many headaches.
Well, Chief,
no,
you don't know what's happening?
I just got the call. They pulled me out of class. I've been teaching cadets.
As have I, on horseback riding. And also the proper history of the Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, I've been teaching cadets something kind of like that, except instead of horses, it's spaceships with big engines and they go a little faster. But
Oh, thank God that's over, right? We actually get to do something.
yeah, could be a fun change of pace.
Well, I will happily inform both of you we should no longer have holodeck issues. And if we do, I'm going to be talking to Mark about it.
Absolutely. All right,
Yeah,
Mark.
I'm
Somewhere
still not.
in a
Oh, sorry.
holodeck lab, Mark feels a shiver down his spine and does not know why.
I forgot about that one dude we blamed for everything.
Yeah. I think a lot of demoted him at one point.
Yeah.
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 He got on our shit list.
Yeah.
He's just cabin boy now. Like there's not even a rank left.
It's like proper lower decks kind of thing. Who is the next one to enter then?
I think Tristan would roll up next. I think.
Sorry, no, go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
I think Tristan has probably spent a lot of time hopping from place to place, researching his holotech and trying to advance his research into improving AI and things like that for Starfleet. So I think he's had a busy time of it, just keeping busy, going from place to place. And yeah, he's a bit worried about the call, but glad to know that everyone's back together.
Yeah, I imagine that you have been sent to, dozens of Federation planets, dozens of star bases and labs, probably never in the same place for more than a week, just over the last kind of 6 to 12 months, just being sent and flown from one place to another to meet with people, to look at new equipment. But here you are back, and all of you would have seen as you kind of entered in the Initiative just waiting in the space dock.
Nice.
That you can see from out of the windows, probably even from this briefing room, you can just see the side of the hull of the ship that you all know so well.
There she
And
is.
Tristian, the doors open, and before you is Siltec, is Ro, is Eleira, your old crew, who you probably haven't seen in a while.
Siltec goes for a big hug. Arms wide, big hug.
Yep.
Yes.
Tristan's in.
Oh!
Yeah.
They hook you up to any more ships?
Not recently.
All right,
That
good.
seems to be more of this group.
And he
thing.
kind of,
apparently it's not a regular thing that happens.
he's like got his hands on your shoulders after the hug, and he like looks around and he leans in. You talking to this ship right now?
No,
Okay. If you hear it, you tell me what it said.
I'll let you know.
All right. We're back.
And then I guess Malko is the last one to arrive in. Whoever's supposed to be giving this briefing has not arrived yet, so you have made it in time. What has Malko been doing?
I would imagine Malko's been first and foremost probably continuing to study up on medical procedure. He's very focused on that, but spending a lot of his time trying to find even more sports movies to watch and just fill his one hole of knowledge that he consistently has. As I would say, as he comes in, he's kind of checking something, and he's like, probably would hear as he walks into the room, like, wait, why is Mark on this list? I don't, what? And he kind of has like a sour look on his face as he kind of comes in and then just sees the rest of the group.
And that's what you see, the same conference table, your old crew, and all of you see Malko as the last to enter.
Hot. So sorry to jump in, but we just got a 300-pound donation from an anonymous source, so thank you so much for that. That is a huge
amazing.
help. We love you all. Thank you so much. Sorry, please continue.
If all of you wanna, that's a pretty big donation, so
Yeah.
I'll give all of you a re-roll for that.
Ooh, thank you, dude. Thank you, anonymous stranger.
But that's what you see. I mean, your old crew right there, the Initiative just so close. Short walk down to dock. Is there anything else you guys want to say to each other?
Hi.
Hey there, Malko.
Hey, Malko.
Hey, have you been?
Studying a lot. Trying to occasionally training some new people. I think Mark the technician wanted to get somehow into medical, and it's not. I don't know that.
That does not sound like a good idea.
No, I'm not feeling too good about that one. But it's.
Has he considered a civilian career? Maybe.
Yeah.
I might have to recommend him for that. We'll see.
It's a good call.
Maybe something where it's moving like really heavy things that can't break. Something like that.
Yeah.
Might be a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Or light things that can't break. They don't have to be heavy. I don't want to punish the guy. I'm just saying things that can't break. I think that's got to be the key thing here.
I mean, heavy things can break other people, so yeah, light's
that's a good
probably
point.
better.
Yeah, get him in like a pillow factory. I think that would be good for him. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like we got the band back together.
Yeah. You know, I was out riding the other day, and I swear, one of the clouds looked just like our ship. And I thought, man, remember those guys? And then I got the message. Must have been fate.
And as you say this, Siltec, the doors slide open a final time. And in walks a woman that you don't know. None of you recognize her. She is tall. She has very, very dark, black, long hair that is pulled back into a regulation bun. She's clearly not human, but where she's from is difficult to place. She looks human-like, but there's something else there. And she comes in, and you see an impressive number of pips along her collar. This looks like an admiral.
Shit.
She carries a pad with her that's kind of hugged close to her chest, and she comes in, doesn't address anyone for a moment. You see that she discards the chair that's at the head of the table where she might sit, and instead props the pad up on the desk, takes a moment to read as she rubs her hands together, clears her throat a little. Thank all of you for answering the call. I assume none of you know why you're here.
No, ma'am.
See.
No, Admiral.
Well, this is a sensitive mission. So you will be taking out the initiative on a limited crew. And she takes a deep breath in and turns as she points towards a screen and taps something on the pad, and it comes to life. You're looking at a stellar chart. You can see there are a number of planetary bodies listed on here, all circling their orbits in a kind of sped up fashion. As she begins to talk and this kind of video, I suppose, begins to play. We have been investigating a small planetary system, and a number of the planets are deemed unsuitable for exploration or habitation. However, we did find some kind of signal coming from one. Small team, exclusive, looking for a particular kind of life. And unfortunately, the crew of that shuttlecraft or small ship have gone missing when attempting to land on the planet. They were fully prepared for its hospitable nature, but we have not yet been able to contact them. It has been 4 days. And you watch as the video zooms into a planet which looks like it's been given some kind of long numerical title rather than a name. This is a planet that we are calling at the moment Kepler for short, as she kind of indicates the length of this kind of numerical system that's been used to classify planets and stars and give them some kind of registry. Its entire atmosphere is unbreathable to most life. It is entirely made of silica. The surface temperature is incredibly hot. and the pressure on the planet makes it difficult to do anything without life support systems and specialized suits. Generally, the atmosphere is hot and incredibly dangerous as it rains glass sideways.
That does sound like a
And
problem.
you watch a shaky video, what looks like probably taken on some kind of handheld piece of equipment. And it looks like it's being taken through the kind of porthole of a shuttlecraft. And you can see these needle-like shards raining down across.
Jeez.
And the way that within a few moments, the shuttlecraft windows, you can see the nicks and the scratches in there before the video cuts off. That is some footage that we received from the landing party when they touched down. They were waiting for the storm to pass until the air settled so that they could spend some time having a look around the planet's surface. All we know is that sometime after this they sent a distress call and we haven't heard from them since. The reason that I have called all of you in is because not only are you incredibly experienced and have suffered some very strange phenomena in the past, but also one of a personal nature. The lead expeditionary on that shuttlecraft was your captain.
Oh.
I think Ro will pipe up a little bit and be like, "Well, we said we'd follow Cap to hell and back, so a demon planet Class Y sounds about right."
Sure looks like hell to me. Question, Admiral. If this planet is not hospitable and this is a standard search and rescue, why all the secrecy?
We believe that there could be a new kind of life form on the planet. We know that silica-based life forms have been seen in other places out here in the universe, some of which are now Federation planets. However, we do have a strict no interference policy. This was purely meant to be exploratory, and we did not want to alert other parties, which is said with a very kind of inferred tone.
Mm-hmm.
whose
Siltec heard big
orders-
alien on planet. It is already like reaching for a lasso. Like, I'm gonna pack 2 lassos.
The planet itself is very close, shall we say, to some borders that we have, and you all know what she's referencing. It is the Federation Romulan border, and we did not want to alert such individuals in case they tried to move forward in taking them to their own side, shall we say, as they have done in the past with other planets close to the border in certain disputed areas. Hence the small team previously to not attract any attention.
Right.
Right. So Prime Directive still applies. Don't let the Romulans see us either.
That would be ideal. They have a nasty habit of when we have interest in something, finding a way to find their own interests there, especially along that zone. Recently, some of that area, due to general shifts and charting, has been under dispute as to whose land exactly it is. So,
All right.
we have outfitted the USS Initiative. There is equipment on board that will allow you to get down to the planet's surface. You will have to watch out for the atmospheric storms and any other potential threats down there, and recover the crew alive if they still are, but otherwise their bodies and their logs at the very most. And you are to tell no one of this. If it turns out that we have in fact made mistakes, or the Romulans try to lay claim to that particular area of space, we don't need to give them a reason to start a war.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you can consider yourselves the senior crew aboard the ship with all the ranks and titles that would normally come with. Whether or not you get to keep them, we shall see.
Yes, ma'am.
I suggest that you appoint one of yourselves effective captain until you recover your own, and you may make your way to the ship. The crew are waiting.
Rose got her
immediately
finger on her nose.
Lyra's immediately pointing at Ro.
Siltec got up to like accept it, to like, you know, he just turned to everyone to ready to accept the captain, then everyone's already turned to Ro. And he's like, yeah, of course. No, of course that's what it would be. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
And Ro just looks at everybody and just goes, damn it. Fine.
The Admiral walks over to you as I imagine you've all kind of got up, done the Picard maneuver a little bit.
Yeah.
Hand out. Congratulations, Acting Captain Ro. The USS Initiative is yours.
Thank you, Admiral. This is an unexpected honor. And she sort of looks at the rest of the crew like, thanks, guys, sort of expression on her face.
You're welcome.
I will take good care of her.
All right.
Let's hope so. She has just been refitted, and that is very expensive.
Tristan.
Understood, Admiral.
Tristan, is the ship happy about this?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a go. The ship says it's a go.
Can I ask, by the way, what kind of reading was I getting on the Admiral during this?
What were you kind of looking for? You've got is it a passive ability?
Yeah,
you have
it's my
for
passive
that?
empath ability. I technically can't not sense the emotions of people nearby me.
Okay, so you get worry from her. She's definitely worried. Definitely a kind of trepidation, whether that's about the outcome of this mission or if that is about putting you in charge of the ship. You're not too sure. Maybe a mix. You also get the feeling that she is maybe not being entirely honest. Not outright deceptive, but perhaps a guilt that suggests that she knows something that perhaps you don't.
Okay.
But also a lot of stress, like so much stress.
Understandable.
Yeah. Being a Starfleet captain, very high stress job in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Alana is going to look at the crew and then look over at Siltec and say, well, I guess I need a first officer. And, well, let's see. I'm going to need everybody else in different parts of the ship. And Siltec, I think you're probably going to be the best at being an XO. So
Yes, ma'am.
you're number one.
I'm at your service.
All right.
You watch as the Admiral is taking this information down on the pad.
Uh-oh.
And when that is decided, you see that the screen behind her goes black. She pulls the pad back to her chest. Well, good luck, Godspeed, and keep us updated.
Yes, ma'am.
She gives you a curt nod and leaves you there in the briefing room.
Well, I'll be.
As soon as the Admiral is out of the room, Ro just looks at the rest of the crew. It's like, really? I just got done saying I didn't want to be a commander because it's too much of a headache, and you made me captain?
Yeah. It's prophetic.
I owe all of you one for this. I'm gonna make sure you get promoted. And then you'll
Siltec's
have
happy.
headaches.
Siltec still isn't quite getting that you're mad. And he's like, oh, I get promoted? It's a good day.
Elira mutters under her breath, I hate people.
Tristian, you get this very strange emotion coming from Eleira. You don't know what she just muttered under her breath, but you sense the emotion behind it.
General malaise for all of humanity.
I feel like it's oddly comforting to Tristan because he's been bouncing around from place to place, never staying with the same group. To be back with surrounded by the same energy again,
Yeah.
is like oddly comforting, even if it's weird emotions that he's not quite getting a read on.
Yeah. Yeah. It must feel it's just it's like it's familiar, even if it's not quite understandable, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's family. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what family is.
Yep. Love that.
So you make your way to the ship as you walk down the kind of long corridor of this starbase.
Ooh, do we get like a
towards-
slow-mo astronaut walk?
You know what you get?
Hell yeah.
You get the Enterprise glamour shots
Ooh.
from the original TOS movie, where it's
Right.
just like a full 10 minutes
Right.
of like the shuttlecraft coming in and all of the planning.
Yeah, this
Um,
model cost us half the budget. We're filming it from every angle.
And then we'll reuse it again later. No, that's what you get. Except it's literally because whoever's in the shuttlecraft is like taking you on a little tour of the outside to tell you what's been new and upgraded. So you have like a full like half an hour
Right.
fly around the
Right.
outside.
It would have been 20 minutes, but Siltec made the guy like go over every weapon system. It was like, come on, man.
Oddly enough, like normally Ro would be like, "Oh my god, just get me to the ship." But since it's been refit with some things, like she's actually the same. She's making it like, "All right, I need to see this detail. What's been done to the engines? Let's go back there. Let's get. I want to get a close up look at that."
Yeah, Eleira kind of gravitates towards Siltec in a strange way because she's really interested on defense mechanisms that they've added on since this place rains glass sideways.
Right.
And so, like, if Siltec's right here, Elira's almost like gradually like inching closer to like look over Siltec's shoulder,
Oh yeah.
but like also keep my distance.
Right.
You can see that in general, the kind of outward plating has been updated. It's
Nice.
not that the last lot was any worse, but you know, there's a lot of cosmic radiation, there's a lot of heat, so that's all been refit. It looks like the weapon systems themselves have not necessarily been upgraded, but they have been tuned. Newer parts have been fitted. Eleira, you can probably find out from asking that yes, the holodecks have been upgraded
Nice.
with some of the things that you have worked on to prevent mishaps like last time. She looks very shiny and very new,
Nice.
but very familiar. You can also see other parts of the plating that look like around some of the vital systems, around some of the arrays, and around some of the weapons arrays. Looks like that they have been shored up and reinforced, perhaps in preparation for the atmosphere of this planet. Silica can be very annoying if it gets into places it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Especially if it starts to melt. No one wants glass in the engines, you know?
No.
But
Not so much,
eventually, after the glamour shots tour, you do dock aboard the ship, and the crew are there waiting for you in the docking bay. A very small crew, the very, very minimal that you would need to operate this ship,
Is Mark here?
are all lined up.
Is Mark in the
waiting.
crew? Is Mark there? He's got to be, right?
Make me let's have a look. Make
Not
me-
Mark.
Make me a insight. I'm gonna call this command.
Command?
Insight command test.
Okay.
As you try to pick out the one, you know, the one crewman's face out of the many that are here.
So I'm looking at insight and command. You got to remind me how to roll this. I'm so
you
sorry.
need to add your insight to your command.
Gotcha.
So that's gonna give you 16. I can do math.
Gotcha.
So you need to roll 2d20 and you want to hit 16 or under.
16 or under. Okay. I rolled a 7 and a 17.
7 and a 17. So that is one success. That is enough.
He got a new
You-
haircut. It was hard to recognize him.
He does. He does have a new haircut. It is cropped a lot shorter than it is. But you do spot Mark there in the back, possibly trying to, like, step
Mm-hmm.
with somebody, like, in front of him as he awkwardly just kind of tries to make like it look like he's looking forward, but is actually doing everything to avoid eye contact. And there's a moment where you can, like, the both of you look at each other and he's just like,
Hey, Mark. Shipmate. Good to see you.
Eleira looks at Siltec and then tries to figure out where Siltec's looking.
Over here, Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, shipmate Johnson.
Ro does the same thing, except it's like looks at Siltec, figures out where Siltec's looking, and then it's just like laser focus right at Mark.
This poor kid.
And she
Mark
points to the
looks so
brand new little
awkward.
pips on her collar.
and like he's looking down when you look over, and he does the thing where he looks up to see if anyone's still looking. and he notices, and you just hear him.
Siltec
Someone
sounds
beside him like nudges him, and he's like, like someone asks if he's okay, and he just doesn't want to talk. But
What's his current rank?
I'm trying to think of what you demoted him to, because I don't think you promoted him again.
right.
I think it was down to specialist from like
Yeah.
some sort of petty officer. It says, okay, so the Ro will just look at him and go, oh, it's a specialist Johnson. Thanks so much for volunteering to deep clean the galley.
Takes a moment, and you can see him mentally counting the number of pips on your jacket as you've got close to him. You're welcome, Captain.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll let you get to that.
And he awkwardly, the only person, just leaves this kind of assembly
Just
really quickly.
walks
As
out
he's
of the
leaving,
room.
Eleira pipes up and says, "When you're done with that, I have a couple other places too."
As soon as
He doesn't reply, but you see there's like a nod as he disappears through a door.
Yep.
And everyone else is just like, what just happened?
That's
but you
just
are
Mark.
informed by the crew that engines and systems are operational. Weapon systems have been checked and are also operational. All of the equipment and supplies have been loaded, and the bridge awaits the senior officers.
Awesome.
Thank you, crew. Inspiring speech or something. I'm not good at those. So we're going to be going into a pretty dangerous situation, and I appreciate all of you being here and doing your duty. I'm going to do my best to get us through all of this in one piece and get our people back. If you have questions or concerns, you are free to talk to me, I guess, in my ready room. That sounds weird. But yeah, you come talk to me if you need anything. And good luck to all of us. You all have jobs. Get to it.
Yes,
You see
ma'am.
somebody, as you're like, if you have any questions, starts to raise his hand, and somebody beside him slaps it back down.
Yeah, just gets a shot look from Siltec.
And
Like,
just like
no, you don't.
nudges him. There's a couple of whispers. You don't think anything bad. Tristian, the feeling that you probably get is there is some excitement, some
Yeah.
trepidation. But as soon as you tell everyone to get back to their jobs, they disperse and scatter, and you make your way to the bridge, a place many of you are familiar with and have been up here a number of times during your service aboard the Initiative. And here it is that you will find your captain's chair, Ro,
Captain on the bridge.
and you watch as the entire bridge crew, as Siltec calls this out, is up in a flash, standing there at the ready.
And I think Ro like just walks towards the con rather, getting ready to sit in the pilot seat, and then kind of realizes, oh wait, right, big chair, right.
There's somebody stood there, whoever was sat in that seat, who instinctively just, you've walked up there towards this, and as if you're going to take a seat, moves the hell out of the way, as if to say, if this is where you want to sit, Captain. You know, it's just like, doesn't question it.
I think she's got like one leg up, getting ready to like step over the back of the seat, and then kind of goes, "Oh right, I'm the captain now," and steps back, goes, "As you were, yeah, everybody at ease."
Everyone is at ease, and immediately, as you are used to, sits back in their chairs and begins.
You heard the captain.
you know,
At ease.
Yeah, I think they heard it. Number one, we're good.
Yes, ma'am.
A little, don't get too eager there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Elena, of course, I'm assuming like the admiral gave us coordinates, so she'll call that off.
As you call it off, a couple of seconds later, the reply from a seat very familiar to you, the pilot's seat. Course laid, Captain.
And Ro just sort of takes a deep breath, still processing everything that's just happened, because less than 24 hours ago she was teaching cadets how to fly spaceships, and now she's captaining a very large spaceship. So it takes a deep breath and then just goes, engage.
And it's at that moment, there is kind of a grin. Tristian, you can feel it from all of the rest of the crew here. That moment that it's almost like the first launch again. after it being out of service for so long. And that kind of joy that comes with having somebody new in the captain's seat that the crew know and the crew love and are familiar with. As you feel the familiar thrum of the warp core engines as it begins to build, and you slowly pilot out of this dock, picking up speed as you begin to leave the planetary system. And as soon as you are far enough out, you hear the call, ready for warp.
Yeah, take us in. Gauge warp engines and let's go.
And you feel the sudden kick as the warp engines truly kick in, and you are propelled through space at a ridiculous speed. And you know once you've hit the kind of the cruising, you know, once it's in, as you watch those in the navigation area and the piloting area suddenly relax in their seats a few minutes later. You're on course, Captain.
Excellent. Good job. Ops, I'm gonna need while we're en route, I'm gonna need you to find me everything you know about, or I guess rather that the Federation database knows about silica-based life forms, and have a report of that ready by the time we get there. And then she'll call down to engineering, say, engineering, I'm gonna need you to do a full analysis on our defensive capabilities and run a level 2 diagnostic while we're en route. Make sure our shielding and armor plating is working at full capacity. I know we just updated everything at the space station, but we're literally going to a metaphorical hell, so I want to make sure everything is working down to the last micron.
As those orders go out, Siltec grabs one and just jots a note and hands it back to the ensign. And what he's written at the top, find out what silica is, and gives him a very serious nod. And they kind of, head off.
Hold on. I need to. I want to find you the response. I need to look this
silica.
Up, so
Yeah.
So a while later, you get all of those reports, Ro. You get the check that obviously the ship itself is probably not going to land on the planet, but the specially designed shuttlecraft is ready. Everything is working. And you get a note back later, Siltec, as this ensign comes back with just some other general reports for the captain and kind of hands you back a handwritten note.
Wow.
It just says, it looks like he's copied this straight from,
Space
some kind
Wikipedia.
Of Space Wikipedia. And it just says that silicon dioxide or quartz is the primary constituent of sand and glass.
Ah, well,
And
that
it's
does
just
make
like-
sense.
I wanted to find something that was very Space Wikipedia. That's why I googled it.
I like that he wrote it down so it didn't go in an official log. So they didn't know the XO asked what sand was.
But he writes this down and hands it to you and just doesn't say anything. Like, doesn't even meet your gaze.
Good job, Ensign. Thank you.
This is a great crew.
Oh, so it's like sand. Well, that does make sense.
It takes about roughly a week of travel to get out as far as you need to. You are right along the Federation Romulan border. The current kind of climate here is a lot of this area is slightly disputed by the Romulans, predominantly, who classically like to try and extend their borders as far into Federation space as they can get away with, and that includes most recently claiming that certain areas are in fact on their side of the border, and that Federation charting is inaccurate, and this creates a lot of tension, a lot of politics for the diplomats, who then have to go in and kind of find some kind of middle ground to prevent yet another reason for incursion. But you are coming up towards this planetary system and the planet in question. You can see in the planet's orbit, in a fixed orbit, is another starship. the very small, nowhere near as big as yours, just enough for a small exploratory crew, their supplies, and somewhere to launch a shuttlecraft from, is still in fixed orbits, as you would know, with no crew aboard currently, because they are all on the planet's surface, hopefully.
Commander, while we're this close to alien space, can I take us into yellow alert? Keep the crew at the ready.
It's Captain Siltec, but yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yellow alert seems appropriate here.
Yes, ma'am. Yellow alert. Set condition 1 throughout the ship. Yellow alert.
And the klaxon begins to play, the lights begin to flash yellow, and the attention picks up in this room. Are there any preparations you want to make before you head down to the planet?
Yeah, Rose's gonna call for the initiative to pull the smaller, I'm assuming like a science vessel, in with a tractor beam, and to prep an away team to go investigate the ship to make sure nothing weird happened aboard there, and to check the logs to see if there was any communication recorded or any information that might be helpful before going down to the planet.
Okay, so you, that's easily achievable. Crew goes over. The ship is tractor beamed in. There is nothing unusual logged there. It's pretty much what you got told in the briefing. You can see that a lot of their logs are encrypted, probably because of the proximity to Romulan space in the event that the ship is captured or boarded, making it as difficult as possible for the Romulans to access files and databases is the sensible thing to do. You can see the recent log from Captain, who is crewing this up, that they received some kind of signal from the planet itself. They couldn't decipher what it was or what it meant. It was a series of tones, but it indicated that there was something intelligent upon the surface, which shouldn't be possible with its atmospheric conditions, giving the idea that there might be some kind of silica-based life here, or at least some kind of life that it could exist in this kind of atmosphere.
I'll have like that signal sent to one of the science officers. If any of the senior crew want to work on it, but I assume they'd probably assign someone under you to work on it while we're doing other stuff. But just kind of says, let's get that analyzed, see if we can pull anything out of it. It's probably a long shot, but doesn't hurt to try. And with that, yeah, probably go ahead and prepare a away team to go down to the planet and try to find our people.
Okay, is there anything anyone else wants to do as preparations are being made to head down on the shuttlecraft?
I would like to personally check the shuttlecraft, like every inch of it. And I feel like this is something that I've done like within the past time span getting here, but like I want to make sure everything is ready, and I want to see if there's like supplies I can take, if there is parts that I think might get damaged, so that I can repair it when we're on the ground.
Okay, go ahead and make me a let's go for insight and engineering test.
Okay. And it's
So
D20s.
Yeah, so you add your insight to your engineering, and then you're rolling 2 d20s, and you want each one to roll under that number.
Oh, well, we're not off to a good start. Okay. Okay, so the number was 13, and I rolled 115 and 1-2.
Okay, so that's really good. So you've got at least one success. Do you have any focuses that would have applied here?
I got starship construction, mechanical engineering.
Starship construction, I think, will apply here.
Cool.
So what is your engineering score?
It is 5.
5. So that means that your 2 is 2 successes, which is one more than you needed. So you have a point of momentum in the bank, friends, for when you need it. Don't forget, you do also have a reroll each from that big old donation. So you have a look. It looks sound. Seems to be solid. everything that you would expect to be done in preparation for these kinds of heavy atmospheric storms of any kind has been done. The weakest parts that you would guess would be things like anything on the outside that could be exposed in panels there.
Right.
Usually that's small connector components, so you can grab, a small box of those to bring aboard with you. The other key things would be things like air and pressure regulators, which shouldn't damage, but you can grab a spare of each if you wish. Otherwise, it's things like door seals, anything that is sealing because of the air is toxic essentially down there. Those aren't really things that you can kind of pick up and carry with you, because you can't kind of fit those necessarily like in the moment. That is a job that requires you to be able to open things up a lot more, properly pressure fit them and test them. Repairing one of those on the ground probably leads to more problems than just a faulty seal. But you can go ahead and grab, if you wanted to mark down, just a box of generic connectors and pressure and oxygen regulator. But otherwise, it all seems normal. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before we pilot the ship down?
Well, I guess question. Meta question, I guess. So standard Federation or Starfleet regulations are that the captain doesn't go on away teams, specifically dangerous away teams. If Ro stays on the ship, will that mess anything up for you narratively, or will that work?
You gotta come.
If you want to stay on the ship, we can make it work. I think the intent from the briefing is that you were to go down. The crew is basically here to help you pilot the ship. But
Okay.
the idea is given is that you are also kind of the away team. But you are the captain, so it is your call to make. You're free to play by Captain Kirk rules if you like, where the entire senior staff go down and be damned to the consequences.
All right, cool.
Someone in chat just typed incoming Captain Mike.
Don't give me
Mark,
ideas,
it's
chat,
Mark.
don't
The
do
guy's
it.
name is
No.
Mark. At least call him by his right name. This poor
That
kid.
no one's gonna get his name right if he's captain.
I will take Mark out mid-ship ride.
Right.
Gonna come back
Sassy just turns and shoots Mark before the chance even happens.
Hi, Mark.
You know what? I think Mark would be an excellent addition to our away team.
Oh no.
And Lyra turns to you and like is staring daggers into
Um,
Here's your red uniform, Mark.
Yeah. So I think Ro, especially if the admiral kind of implied that everybody in the room was supposed to go, and like, okay, I feel like maybe that rule's waived for the moment, and we'll go with him. And it goes over to Illyria and kind of whisper talk and goes, look, if he's with us, he's not up on the ship blowing it up.
I'm just saying, if he accidentally gets left down there, it's not my fault.
Noted.
Siltec checks to make sure Mark can't hear us.
Never even do anything wrong. I can't remember now.
I don't think he did. I think we just didn't take a liking to him, and so we just assumed he did things wrong, and then that came to us believing he did things wrong. I honestly don't think this kid's did a damn thing wrong.
I think though, Elira and Mark have been working together, and
Right.
like she's just done.
Right.
Like she's done with him.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was something that we thought he did something wrong, and then it just solidified because we didn't like him.
So all of you, all of you go down, and Mark comes along with you as the only other member on this crew. He sits very awkwardly and very quietly in the back of the shuttlecraft. Just like doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
Tristan
And
is as far away from him as possible. He doesn't need to feel whatever is going on with Mark right now.
Right.
He just wants to be away from that at the other end.
You actively trying to block from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't need to feel
Who's
that right
piloting the shuttlecraft?
That was exactly what I was about to.
Probably
Yeah.
Ro,
Yeah,
because she is a pilot.
that does make sense. We are flying into a glass storm planet.
I think she is going to call back as she's piloting before it gets too, demanding of her concentration. Just be like, So, Specialist Mark, you ever been to a Class Y planet before?
No, Captain. No, I don't really do away parties. I'm usually just on the ship, and he doesn't meet anyone's gaze. He's just like looking into his hands, and like some of you, I imagine, as you get on, he's already begun to suit up into the specialist suit, as he's not actually actively doing anything during the flight. But like he's just like he doesn't have a helmet on, and this looks like a because I'm a TOS fan, if you ever saw like the weird green bubble wrappy hazmat suits that they had, it's kind of like that, but these are white. Any clear protective panels, usually over the wrists, where you might have some kind of interface. You can see that they are made of very thickened material, something akin to space Kevlar. That's what we're going with. We're going space Kevlar. Okay. Anything that's clear, you can see, is made of some really thick, probably some kind of specialist polymer. And you can see there are some helmets hung up along with the rest of these suits that he hasn't put on yet, but he sits there. I imagine that for the shuttlecraft, you've got like these crossed over things, and he's just sat there holding on, just kind of looking.
That's amazing. And Ro just says, yeah, there's a funny thing with these Class Y planets. You're going to want to hold your breath as we go through the upper layer of the atmosphere, or it can do really weird things with your inner ear. You'll get real dizzy. You'll lose coordination. So I want to make sure. I'll tell you when to start breathing again.
Siltec's taking down notes.
He looks around at everybody and is like, really? They didn't teach us that in the academy.
Siltec fully believes it, so if he's looking at me.
Raven, I need you to go ahead and make me a test to basically deceive him, and also by that merit to deceive Siltec.
That's gonna be the easier call.
Amazing.
Can I assist by like avidly agreeing with everything that Ro's saying? Like, is there a way to do that in this system?
Oh God. There is a way to assist, and you know what? It's been a while since I've run Trek, so I'm just going to have to look it up. But while we do that, I want to know, Siltec, how likely are you to believe this?
100%. My captain's telling me something.
You're not actively trying to work out.
There'd be no reason for him to disbelieve her whatsoever. She's not a joking person, right? So, like, yeah.
So,
oh my goodness.
I just believe her. He's already doing like that deep sea diver thing.
Eleira, what do you say while I'm looking this up?
Eleira just starts well, she's avidly like agreeing and like just like randomly like verbally being like exactly that's it, and then she might throw in some like technological jargon that like they don't know what it is and just like spew out a weird sentence that sounds like she knows what she's talking about, but really she's just meshing a bunch of mechanical words together.
Like some weird way the atmosphere interacts with the environmental system on the shuttle.
Yeah, the environmental system and the outside of the ship. Like, it's just the way that it's constructed, and you do that because we build it this way.
Oh man.
So you're not like adding anything else that he has to do. You're just embellishing Ro's story.
Right. I'm just making it as believable as possible from a mechanical standpoint.
Okay.
That does seem like a huge
this
oversight.
is suddenly going to become the story of how everyone bullies this poor specialist. In which case then, Ro, I need you to make me. I think this is going to be presence and command.
All right, so 14.
Do you have any focuses that will apply here, or any talents that you might want to use?
Yeah, like lying.
I do have inspiration as a focus, and diffuse the tension as a talent.
Let's have a look at what diffuse the tension does.
Yeah, I don't remember what any of the talents do.
Not quite. That's like attempting to get someone to not be violent, to take a more peaceful course of action. So
you might need that for Mark at some point, but not right now.
Let's see. I think that you have a persuasion focus.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I do. I didn't even notice that.
So I will let that apply. So if anything rolls equal to or under your command skill, that's 2 successes.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we'll add Illyria's assistant in a second.
I got 2 successes.
Nice.
2 successes. Okay, Illyria, you need to roll me this is going to be presence engineering test. and you will have a focus that applies here because you have shipcraft, and I think that him knowing that you have this specialism is what's going to add to it. So you just roll 1d20 for me and let me know.
One. Okay.
Just one, because you're assisting.
Wait a second. Chicken nuggets. I rolled a 16, and that's over it.
Do you want to use your reroll?
That is the best expletive I've ever heard.
Yeah. Chicken nuggets.
I work with children. No, I want to save my reroll for later because I feel like it's going to be a really big deal.
Yeah, there is
Like,
glass
something's
flying
gonna-
sideways at us. I'd want to save that too. That does seem like a good move.
You reckon, Eleira, that he's already stopped listening to whatever explanation you're given, as he's like, his face is a slight panic, like he didn't know this. Why didn't he know this? But you will get a point of momentum. So that's 2 points of momentum that you have now, folks.
Awesome. I love that we have a point of momentum for messing with the new
You
guy.
do. And
It's
you
okay,
watch
Mark.
as you begin to enter the planet's atmosphere. He's like, now?
Yeah, right now.
Saturate your lungs, Mark. It's just like deep
He
sea.
takes the biggest, like he does a couple of really deep breaths, kind of opening his lungs, and then is like, and you can see him like sitting there, and he's all clenched up, holding it on.
Hold it,
Do you have anyone co-piloting with you, Ro, or are you just piloting yourself?
Probably just piloting myself, I think.
Okay. In which case, then I need you to. We're going to simplify any spaceship stuff down here because Star Trek ship stuff gets really complicated sometimes.
Oh, I can't believe it.
But I want you to go ahead and make me a. It's going to be, I guess, control and con. As you come in, this is going to be difficulty 3, however, because as soon as you hit that atmosphere, you can feel the ship start to pull as the sheer force of the winds on this planet. You can already hear these glass shards essentially hitting at the side of the ship as you're coming in the middle of one of these storms. You do have the kind of beacon from the ship below, which is what you're trying to get as close to as possible. But trying to control anything in this, it's like throwing a paper airplane into a hurricane.
Gotcha. Okay.
So go ahead and make me that test.
So really good.
Yeah. Question. I have pushed the limits as a talent, but I don't remember what it does. But I think it has something to do with
There should be a talent list on
extreme situations.
Whenever you succeed at the evasive action task, you may spend 2 momentum. If you do, the ship does not suffer the increased difficulty for attacks normally caused by evasive action. So it's more of a combat-y thing.
Okay. Well, I do have small craft as a focus,
That will
which I'm
apply.
assuming would apply.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use a momentum to get 3 dice to roll. If I'm remembering how
you'll
those
have
work
to give me
right.
a point of threat. So you've got 2 momentum. How many
Okay.
extra dice do you want?
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay, in which case that's fine. So you'll have 1 momentum left. You can
Gotcha.
also give me threat as well. I do have some threat on. So
I do recall
Um,
that. Yeah.
I am going to spend some threat though
Oh,
to
no.
raise the complication range. So we all know that 20 is bad in
Yeah.
2d20.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to spend 2 threats. 20. So that's going to be 18 to 20. A complication happens.
Oh my.
All right.
I like how we're like, I don't know, should the captain go down? And like 10 minutes later, she's piloting the shuttlecraft directly into hell.
Yep. All right, here goes. What number am I looking for? So you said control and con, right?
Yep.
We're looking for a 14 or under.
Oh God, that's a lot.
That is 2 successes. And then what does the focus give you again?
The focus means anything that is equal to or under your skill is 2 successes.
Okay, so that would that be 4 successes then?
I'm going to trust you on that.
Because I
So
got 2
basically,
successes, and then with the focus, does it apply to both or just one? Is basically the question.
Both. If both are
So, yeah.
under your
Damn.
I got a 2
under your
and-
discipline, sorry. So equal to or under your anything equal to or under your discipline is 2 successes instead of 1.
Oh, okay. So that's just, let's see. So I got a 2 and a 10 and a 17. So that's 2 successes, and then the focus con is a 5. So the 2 would, so it's 3.
3 successes.
All
Okay. That is just enough as you start to feel the ship being dragged by the upper atmospheric winds, but you manage to pull it back, almost kind of using the winds to kind of boost you and then pulling it back as you come down. You hear this wind pick up. You can feel, all of you can feel the turbulence, and I'm just going to make a quick roll here. Sitting in the back. As you continue down, all of you are watching this, by the way. Tristian, are you actively trying to ignore Mark's emotions still?
Am I able to? Is this thing small enough for me to even be able to? At this point?
If you've chosen to like stay right up front
because
with everybody,
I can't not sense the emotions of people nearby. So I was trying to get as far away as possible, but
yeah,
I don't
imagine
know
you're
if I'm...
sat like right behind the pilot's seat,
Yeah.
and that was just far enough that Mark's, kind of ambivalence didn't reach you. But you start to, just on the edges of that sensory thing, start to sense somebody who is not quite panicking, but on their way there, just at the edges of that ability you have to sense. As you look at him in the back, and he's like,
I think Mark's going blue.
Can I?
Malko? Is that
That's
the
why
normal color?
I'm like, after up to a certain point, he was like, okay, you know what? Like, we're having our fun. It is what it is. And at this point, if he's like staring at him, watching him like go blue and start to pass out, just go, Mark, look at me. Mark, breathe. I'm gonna need you to breathe.
Yeah, you can breathe now. Just calls out.
That was good job, Mark.
he just looks like he's so done. Like he's been holding his breath for like a full 2 minutes, and he's just, you've got the sounds of this horrible glass hitting and splintering against the outside of your ship, the whole thing shaking, and he's just like a wreck sitting there.
Good job, Mark.
Rose just, handling the shuttle, and it's bouncing around and everything, and she just sort of leans her head over just a little bit to Siltec, says, see, you got to give them something to focus on, because they get too scared if all they could think about is how we might imminently crash.
All right. You're good, Cap. He's just taking
Crash?
No, we're good. We're good.
We landed.
Yeah, like the odds of us crashing are at least 95%.
Yeah. If
Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, like the whole ground could give way. It might all be made of glass, so we could still die, but we're safe for right now, Mark.
That panic that you're starting to feel, Tristian, the anxiety just begins to rise as Mark is just like shrinking into his seat.
Hey, Tristian, can you like mental Xanax him or something?
That's not how that. That's not how that.
That's how that works.
That's not how that works.
You can't just like pew pew like give him a little bit of calm.
Wish I could. Wish I could.
All right.
Oh my god.
You can just tell if he is anxious, not so much help him with that anxiety. I got you.
Fix problems or change people's emotions. I just know when they're happening.
Oh, what if we hooked you up to the shuttle? No. We tried that already. Okay, thank you. I appreciate
Please
that.
don't attach me to any more technology.
Don't worry.
I really don't want to have to recommend him for a psyche eval when we get back. Please, I need.
All right, I suppose.
I need him to be okay for a little while longer.
All right, doctor. And then I just start scanning the outside for any like life forms or anything like that.
Go ahead and make me a test for that. So this is going to be I'll let you pick the attribute, but it's going to be con. It's going to be the con tribute.
Con plus, I guess, insight.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
So I roll under 13. And
You do have some momentum if you want to spend.
I rolled a 6 and a 12. Don't need it.
Okay, 2 successes. That gives you a point of momentum because it's
Nice.
you're pretty close to the planet, so scanning it, not too difficult. There's some interference from the strong silica storm that is going on and the horrible glass shards that are attacking everything, but your sensors are still working. They have been well protected and prepared for this. The surface of the planet is sitting at a very, very toasty, and I apologize to all my American friends, but I'm in the UK, so I use Celsius.
Right.
I don't know how Fahrenheit works.
Right.
But is sitting at a really toasty 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It's incredibly hot on the surface of this planet.
I'm just assuming that's a million. That's what it is in my head. 1 million degrees. Gotcha. Thank you.
You do see on the scanners the previous shuttlecraft, which you've landed not too far from. Beginning to land, not too far from. From this distance, it could be the silica storm that is kind of messing with the range on your sensors, but you don't pick up any standard life forms just yet. But it looks like the surface of the planet is fairly rocky too, with this heat. Although it's probably also covered in glass. Not quite molten, but you imagine the temperature over time starts to kind of turn the surface into something very undesirable to walk upon.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun. All right, I pass all that information to the captain.
Yeah, that's toasty. All right. Well, do we have a idea where the beacon is?
Did I find it on the scan?
You did. That would be the it was a beacon from the ship, actually.
Yes.
Where it's been activated. I do need to have a test, though, for you to land this shuttlecraft safely.
Nice.
Because as you start to get further down, you notice on the sensors that the shuttlecraft that landed previously did land in a fairly precarious position. Whether it landed on something and slipped, or whether the landing wasn't very smooth, it does look like it's kind of crunched part of the front side down into the surface of this landscape.
Okay.
I'm going to spend some threat here because right now visibility is very poor. You've only got your sensors to guide you in, which, although they're accurate, are not working at particularly long range because of just the amount of particulate in the density of it in this atmosphere. And also, you're not entirely sure what the surface of this planet is like. Aside from it being kind of rocky, probably a little bit weirdly sandy, sludgy, but whether or not you're going to sink in it, whether or not it's going to be really solid. And I am going to spend 3 points of threat to increase your complication range. So go ahead, make me another either control, or you could, I would let you get away with daring if you wanted to, with con for me.
Yeah, daring would be great, because that's higher. How many successes do I need?
This is going to be difficulty 4.
Oh,
to
goodness.
land this without any issue.
Are we good if I use both of those momentum?
Yeah.
So if you want 2 dice, it's going to cost 3 momentum, so you'll have to give me a point of threat.
Happily pushing you momentum.
Yeah, we'll do that. So
Okay.
that's 4 dice total.
Yeah, if
Right.
the ship doesn't land, we all die.
You're
So go
rolling
ahead.
2d20,
Take
and
all
then
that
you wanted
momentum.
2 more dice, so 4 total, yeah.
Okay.
And we have rerolls.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Thank you. I had forgot about that.
It's be a real short game. Well, ship crash, all die.
All right.
Thanks
so I
for
need
joining
a 16 or under. It's not too bad. All right. That's not gonna do it.
Anything 17 or over, though, is going to be a complication.
Yeah.
It's 3 successes, and then I'm going to use a reroll on that last one.
Okay.
What's my con? 5? Oh, that's 4 successes actually.
4 successes.
Is that all I
You-
needed?
That's all you needed. So unless you got a complication, you want to re-roll that, or you want to use your re-roll to try and get some momentum back.
Yeah, it was a 19, so that would be a complication. So I'll reroll that one.
Okay.
That's a 17.
That's 17. Still a complication. So you bring the shuttlecraft down, and slightly surprisingly, but slightly not, as you touch down and the boosters bring down, you kind of feel it stop, and then you feel it kind of sink a bit into the kind of sandy, glassy, kind of sink in a very crunchy way. It's not pleasant to hear against the metal of this shuttlecraft's hull. As you sink down a little bit. And as you do, you can now fully feel the impact of this glass hail that is coming down. It's loud, it's constant. As the screen clears and opens up now so that you can see the planet ahead of you, no longer needing any shielding from kind of the cosmic radiation, you can't see too far in front of the shuttlecraft. All you can see is the image of shattering glass over and over again, like hailstones, but worse. And hazily make out just ahead of you, somewhere in this horrible kind of dusty, slightly grey haze, the outline of the other shuttlecraft. And mostly because of the lights that still flicker on inside it. As you all begin to suit up, however, getting ready to get this atmospheric stuff on, ready for this storm to begin passing, you hear, Eleira, you probably hear this before anyone else, being kind of paying attention to this sort of thing, see a flashing light come up on the screen, and it's flashing yellow.
Do I know what that means?
You do. It looks like it's noting a system error. And it is noting a system error with the communications.
It's your least
Eleira
favorite error.
immediately jumps up and like says, "Ro, we have an issue with comm."
What's happening?
Oh no, communications froze.
Oh,
Communications froze.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's inside the
Your
ship.
personal.
While
okay, we will come back to Jordan in a minute.
Hi.
Oh,
there we go.
sorry, she's back. Okay.
Communications are fixed.
Yeah. The timing. Perfect. Yeah, so she'll go over and see if it's something, see if she can figure out what exactly is wrong and if it can be fixed on the ground or if it's something that's going to need to be fixed from the main ship.
I won't make you roll for this. You have a look at it, and it looks like that in that landing, as you've kind of sunk, you've sunk awkwardly in the sand, much like the shuttlecraft ahead of you. And it looks like that what has happened is that the pressure from the sink and mixed with the heat of the surface and the kind of general unpleasant, sharp crunchiness of the surface has damaged the comms array aboard the shuttlecraft, which means that trying to get comms back to the ship is going to be difficult because you're already dealing with a lot of atmospheric interference. Not impossible, but it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. It's not an essential system as such. All of the rest of your systems, your life support, your oxygen, your pressure supports, all of that stuff is working fine. It's just your comms array that appears to have been damaged.
Eleira is gonna look at Ro and say, "It's fixable, but it's not worth it here. And we've been without comms before, so."
Yeah, I think we can put a pin in that. We'll try to fix it if we really need it. For now, I want to make sure we have a way to constantly see the line between our shuttle and that one.
How far is it?
Maybe a couple of 100 meters ahead of you.
Oh, okay, my lasso's not that long.
No. Probably can't lasso it from here.
No.
I think the glass might rip it to shreds
Yeah,
too.
possibly.
So what I'm thinking is, does the shuttle have phasers on it, I'm assuming?
I would
Yes,
say
ma'am.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is dial those phasers back to the lowest possible setting and set it on continuous beam. So it's basically just a really expensive laser pointer.
Oh, that's smart.
Thanks.
Okay. I don't feel like I need to make you roll for that. That's not the most difficult of things to do, especially between all of you. I mean, if you can't operate the
if we can't make a laser,
the phaser array of a shuttlecraft, we got some real problems here. But you do. There is a continuous beam. This may potentially still cause some damage. over time,
Sure.
the outer shell of that ship. But it would take, a number of hours for that to begin to erode away at this plating.
Okay. Can I set up like a remote access on a pad or something like that so I can turn it off once we get over to the other ship?
You could attempt to. It takes some rigging.
Okay. I will look to our engineer and ask if she can set that up. She probably would have told Siltec to do the actual phaser thing too.
Yeah, I shot the beam. That's what I was good at. I went bleep, and then Eleira actually did the science stuff.
I did, however, make Mark come over and hold things for me while making minimal eye contact. Jordan feels so bad about this, but Eleira really doesn't care.
You see, he is standing there, and you're just handing him tools, while he just holds them. And you ask him for something, and he gives you the wrong thing.
Mark.
And then
thin ice
quickly
Mark
takes it back out of your hand and gives you the correct one. And it's just looking around at all of you, and Tristian, you can feel it now, that the nerves, the fear. Whatever emotion describes, oh God, why did I pick this? Why did I choose to do this with my life?
Aww, buddy. Every morning, I know where you are, man.
A familiar emotion. Yes.
But I will say, for the sake of time, yeah, you can set something up to remotely turn it off once you get over there. Do you have, you've still got a couple of hours until this storm kind of passes out of this area enough that it is safe to leave the ship. Your suits will protect you from some of this debris, but it won't in these kind of heavy conditions.
Okay.
So this is kind of your time to put a little bit of a plan together. What are you thinking? You need to, at the very least, track down the logs here. There is the potential that you are dealing with some kind of alien life too.
Yeah.
But right now, your subjects, the crew that you are looking for, is MIA. If you guys are okay to roleplay for a couple of minutes and chat about your plan, I really, really need to go to the loo and grab a drink. If that's
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what?
I will cover up my camera.
Actually, I kind of do too. Would you just want to take a 10-minute break? Because I got to go too. So
yeah, we can take a 10-minute break.
Let's do that.
I think the scene that we leave on here is as all of you kind of sit down, kind of across the seats chatting. Mark is just left there watching all of you with this kind of dumbfounded, terrified look as he's still holding all of Illyria's tools that she has dumped into his arms, that he's at danger of dropping, but can't really do anything to stop them falling, but is desperately trying to just adjust his posture.
Good job, Mark.
To prevent it. That's where we're going to leave it as we go on the break, as you start scheming.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys back in 10 minutes. Awesome. And we are in the break. No, go. Me too. we're back.
That's true.
Hey.
Hey, we're back from our break.
I
Ready to jump back in and see what decisions are being made. But I think we have something to talk about with our giveaway that's going on in chat first.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's the hashtag? Found family. Hashtag found family to win a. It's the pronouns t-shirt, right? That's what they said? Yes. So it is a. Hang on, it's official pronouns t-shirt. I'm trying to find it, but it's a t-shirt. It's a t-shirt from the Inkling Print Company, who are amazing and who also did the official t-shirts for the Take the Help action. There's a link for that. Pulling up right now. Shirt. All right, so just do hashtag found family and you will be entered in the contest to win your pronoun shirt.
that's awesome.
I got that more or less right, so we're good to go. We're good to go.
Awesome. So you have now kitted up. You're waiting for the storm to pass. What is your game plan? How do you want to approach this?
I think Ro is going to specifically look to everybody and go, all right, options, opinions, what are your thoughts? And she's going to like specifically look at Mark as well. Like, I want your input sort of look at him.
Mark looks at you and just goes, can I put these down yet?
Eleira, is he good to put those down?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he like awkwardly goes over to a seat and does that thing that you do when you've got too much, and he's just like gently offloading it and like, I think that we should investigate the shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
He says with like the most confidence you've ever heard until it ends in a question.
Well, he's
Yeah,
not
that's
wrong.
that's the objective. What do you think about how we should get over there?
Walk. And he kind of looks around and he looks over at you, Siltec.
Yeah,
like,
you're losing Siltec. Even now, you're losing Siltec. I mean, he's got a point. We do need. I mean, I suppose we could walk over there. Yeah, I suppose that's true. But there's a lot of like hot glass flying at us. Like maybe that's what the captain wants to know about there, Mark.
But I thought that's what these suits were for.
Yeah. Okay. So Mark's all
I
set. So
wasn't really prepped for this. I wasn't told I would be leaving the ship.
Oh, also one quick note: that pronoun shirt is actually from @pronouns in my bio. I got that wrong, so my apologies. So thank you
cool.
@pronouns in my bio for donating that shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's hot glass flying at us sideways, Mark. Little stroll's not going to fix that.
Only for another, and he looks through like the clear panel in
There
his
we
suit.
go.
1 hour, 43 minutes and 26 seconds approximately.
There we go. We found Mark's use as a meteorologist. All right.
Siltec meteorologists are always wrong.
That's true. They do lie. And he just looks, he just kind of squints at Mark. Anyway.
Mark says nothing. He's just like,
Ro just sort of shakes her head like that. Thank you. Mark, we'll come back to you. Anybody else? Thoughts on ways to best approach the other shuttle
Well,
once the storm's passed?
Well, not so much a thought as a worry. This hot glass raining sideways, whether it's coming down light or not, is going to be hell on our instruments. We should expect interference. I suppose we could rely most accurately on Tristian, and if he recognizes or feels any of the crewmates in this area.
That's a good point.
Yes, and we also have to worry about this signal, this tone. Whatever's sending it out may be an intelligent life form. We can't discount the possibility of running into potentially hostile threat.
That's true.
That's a good point. That report that Ro requested, but while they were coming to the planet, did it have anything in there about like first contact procedures for those types of life forms? Anything like consistent across the board on them or not?
this is where I'm going to say that we're departing from any canon because Virginia hasn't watched all of TNG yet. But there are reports of other silica-based life forms a lot of them here are referred to either by their home planet or by a classification given by the Federation, given that many of them discovered so far have not been directly, there has been no first contact, they have simply been observed to exist.
Okay.
Mostly because their life processes are not, and the conditions that they live in are not really the best for initiating communication with things that can't breathe the atmosphere they live in. And for the most part, a lot of them have not yet reached the point where the Federation is able to reach out to them because they have not yet traveled to the stars. So the non-interference kind of clause of the Prime Directive has come into play there.
Okay.
So nothing about first contacts, just most likely that they exist. It's not known whether they are particularly dangerous to other species, but obviously the planets that they live in are very hostile to other forms of life.
Yeah. All right. So Ro will glance over that report again, and then just like, not like angrily, but just sort of like flippantly toss the pad onto one of the panels or shelves or whatever. Be like, right. So that doesn't give us a whole lot of information. I don't know what to expect with these life forms if they're out there. So I guess just keep your eyes peeled. Eleira, do you have any suggestions for ways that we can, aside from the suits, anything that we can do to lessen the impact of all of that? Sort of motions at the window.
Well, truthfully, anything that we could do would be counterproductive. You could take paneling from the inside of the ship and try to get it to work as a protection, but the problem with that is that it's gonna knock you over, and then we have lacking of paneling in the ship, which I'm avidly against. So I think that the best case scenario is just to go for it and not die, preferably.
All right, and then Malko, if we do have a suit breach, what's our best options?
Well, certainly patch it as quick as possible. The temperatures are going to be incredibly dangerous, and there's still going to be bits of glass out there, so we want to make sure that we're not being exposed or cut by it. So definitely any sort of breach or tear, let someone know, and we need to patch it right away.
All right. So keep your eyes on your own suits and on each other's to spot any breaches or anything like that, and we'll have patch kits actively in hand while we walk over.
What do I do?
You're going to be walking with us to the other shuttle and watching all the suits to see if there's any breaches there, Mark. And you'll have a patch kit in your hand.
Maybe keep an eye on that weather, Mark. If it switches on us, give us a heads up.
That would also be helpful.
Sir? He nods. You wait out the rest of the storm. It's pretty dull and pretty boring. At least once, Mark tries to tell a story, which he never really finishes. Kind of trails off at the end.
Too real.
And once it's clear, the storm has settled down, and Mark can confirm that yes, it has moved further on. You have a couple of hours before you're due another heavy hit, like the one that you just flew through. And you open the shuttle up, and as soon as the doors begin to open, you see there's actually a double set of doors on this shuttle, like an airlock almost.
Yeah.
You will step into the first set, and the second one's open, and you suddenly see why. Even with the majority of kind of that almost micro storm now, you come to realize as these kind of pick up.
Yeah.
Shards of glass come flying at you still, kind of whipped up in the air by the high wind, and begin to coat the floor of this kind of airlocked area. It begins to kind of almost, some of it's so fine. If you've ever seen like fine glass dust after glass has been ground,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's almost like that begins to litter the front of your helmets and gets all over your suit. And as you kind of brush it off, you can feel how gritty it is.
Right.
It's like sand, but worse. And you see it cut the bigger shards.
Anakin Skywalker would be furious.
Yeah, hitting against the suit, but obviously the thick material not puncturing, at least at this point. The heat is almost intolerable. If it weren't for the fact that your suits are oxygenated and cooled by two large tanks that sit on your back, like carrying a heavy rucksack. And for some of you, like Malko, like Eleira, maybe even Tristian, you will have additional stuff padded onto this to carry your med kits or your engineering tools, or Tristian, probably some of the equipment that you use for your kind of tech-based stuff, adding to the kind of bulk of that. So it's not, if you've ever seen videos of people in spacesuits and how difficult it is to do anything in them, it's kind of like that. Your fine motor skills are reduced here. But you step out onto the sand, and it's like sand, but it crunches beneath your feet like glass. And you can see in some places where it's heated and the silica kind of bubbles in kind of hot spots across this rocky surface. But the visibility is better now. You can see the craft ahead of you, and you can see how much it's kind of banked. And it looks like in the time that it's been here, more of this sand, glass, that's kind of in the atmosphere and the air and just covering everything like sand does, has begun to kind of cover up bits of it, and found its way in to, as you get closer, parts that would lead to the engine. This craft was obviously not well designed to land on this atmosphere like yours has been fitted to. What are your first thoughts as you begin to approach? Is there anywhere you want to go directly? Anything you want to look at?
Rose just keeping an eye on that laser, and sort of trying to keep it in line of sight to line up her approach to the shuttle. That's pretty much her whole focus, is getting to the other side.
Yeah.
Easily done. And as you get up to the shuttle, you can actually see where the laser has begun to slightly burn some of the plating. Just at the very edges, you can see it starting to discolor, which probably isn't too dangerous at this point.
Okay. And she'll make sure that everybody else gets to the shuttle before she goes in.
Okay. Tristian, as you begin to get closer to this shuttle, you become aware not so much of any direct feeling, but of someone.
Oh.
Just a presence.
Just a presence that there is someone there. It's devoid of emotion, however.
Okay, I will relay that to everybody.
A presence devoid of emotion. That is not comforting, Ensign.
No. Do I get a... Does it seem to be coming from inside the shuttle? Okay. So, yeah, everybody just take it easy, take it slow. We don't know what we're dealing with.
Pull out my phaser.
Yeah, Ro will as well. And set it to stun. And she'll be like, set your phasers to stun. We don't...
Mm-hmm.
It might be one of our people, so we don't want to go in.
Yeah, Siltec goes and rolls that up to maximum stun, like just below lethal, right?
You take it all the way up to kill and then like dial it back.
Just a bit back. I'd set my phaser to maim. That's what I set my phaser to.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
You begin to approach the shuttle, and as you come around the side to reach the doors, you can see that this doesn't have a double airlock door. This is just a standard shuttle that you might find aboard a science craft.
Well, there's your problem.
And you can actually see that one of the doors is shut, and the other one looks like it has been wrenched part the way open. the inside lights kind of flicker and screens buzz as if there's a constantly interrupted electrical circuit as they kind of flicker on and off and on and off.
Does this door look like it was ripped open by like a hand or by like storm winds and debris?
Good question.
Why don't anyone who wants to make a guess at that can make a test? Who would like to kind of test for that?
Me.
I would.
Yeah, I'm busy looking for enemies.
Okay, we'll roll that separately then. So, Ro or Lyria, who wants to make the main test? Because one of you can assist.
I'm good either way.
Okay, I'm gonna ask if I can argue something. Can I argue that since I know like innately how ships are born, I would be able to tell kind of the difference between storms and people?
Yeah, you've probably
make
seen
sense?
enough ship damage that has, been caused by people being careless and by atmospheric damages and kind of, wear and tear.
Cool. So can I do the main role? Is that a bad idea?
No, I think that's totally fine.
Go ahead then and roll me. This is going to be reason because you're drawing on your kind of learned experience and learned knowledge.
Cool.
Reason and I'm going to call this science rather than engineering. Do you want
Okay.
engineering?
Yeah.
Have engineering. Ro, I want you to. How are you approaching this?
I'm just trying to look at like, does this look consistent with debris damage on starships, or does it look like I'm just looking specifically for like hand marks or claws or
Okay,
something like that, less from like an engineering standpoint, more of just a straight observation.
let's go for reason and security because you're basing yours
Okay.
more on a kind of a tactical knowledge of, you're looking for claws, you're looking for evidence that this is indicating something dangerous.
Okay, that tracks.
So you're just rolling 1d20 because you're assisting.
All right.
So go ahead and make the roll.
reason
for
security.
me,
So
Jordan.
I need 10 or under.
I rolled. And because you're a really nice GM,
Oh no.
I have 2 successes.
Nice. Okay.
I got a
and-
5.
You got a 5. So is that also a
Nice.
success?
It is a
Oh, wait.
success, yeah.
I rolled 2 dice under it. I rolled a 13 and a 2.
So do you have a focus that would, apply here? So that 2 is almost definitely going to be 2 successes. So that's
Yeah.
4 successes total between the two of you.
Wow.
Which gives
Wow.
you 2 points of momentum.
Yay!
Yay!
Nice.
Having a look at it between the two of you, you spot no claw marks or scratch marks, but you can't indicate because the other door seems fine. It is locked in place. This looks like this has been forced open by someone or something. It's
Okay.
not the result of the storm. Some of the damage to the inside is almost definitely the result of the storm having passed through with this door being open.
Did we already determine whether this was like coming inside damage or going
Right.
outside damage?
With the amount of successes you've got, it looks like somebody or something tried to get in. It was open from the outside.
Okay. And there's probably not anybody on the crew manifest that would have that sort of strength, right? I'm assuming.
Not that you know of.
Getting
Captain is
my
Vulcan, however, and they do possess a fair amount of strength,
Mm-hmm.
as Vulcans naturally do, because the gravity there is lower and all of that good stuff. So potentially, but it would be a difficult job to force one of these doors open.
Okay.
Siltec, you were looking for danger.
Yeah. Enemies. Radar signs. How the heck we do it? Tricorder stuff.
Go ahead, make me I'm going to call this insight, I think, for you.
Okay.
Insight and security.
Insight and security. Okay, so that gives me a total of 13. And I'm rolling 2 dice.
Mhm.
That is going to be a 7 and a 15, so only 1 success.
1 success.
That 7 is
having a
underneath my security. I don't know if that matters.
Do you
Oh, no,
have a
it's not. I'm
focus
dumb.
that you could
no,
apply
I'm
here?
super dumb. Well, I've got duty and discipline, regimented mind. Not really, no. No.
You sure that you're looking? I think you're looking at your values or your talents. Your focus is on the
Oh,
right hand.
I'm sorry.
side.
You're right. I am composure, hand-to-hand combat, espionage, horseback riding, meditation, and by the book. No, absolutely nothing
No.
applies whatsoever. In fact, most of them won't apply ever.
I love that you have meditation.
Thank you.
Having kind of like watching your back, you don't see anything around the ship that would indicate the presence of like a dangerous creature.
Yeah.
Inside the ship is a different story because
Oh.
you can't see properly inside the ship.
I
It just looks
insist
like
on
a
going in
wreck
first. Yeah.
as the light flickers. It's always possible that there is something, because Tristian did share with the group that he felt a presence. But immediately you don't see any immediate threat aside from the environment.
All right, Tristan, if you feel that presence, make any changes of mood, please alert me, I say as I step inside.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
There's actually something that I forgot I can do.
Oh, good.
And I probably will get our captain's permission before I attempt this. I don't know if this creature is capable of communicating telepathically, but if it is, I can attempt to reach out telepathically and communicate with it.
Yeah, mental
Would you
Xanax.
like to attempt to reach out and communicate with it?
With permission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ro will nod. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. Good job,
Okay.
Tristan.
There's just a gentle hand on my arm as I'm beginning in, and then I nod and step back. Yeah.
Just
Imagine that the both
be
of you
careful.
can get in this shuttlecraft. It's a bit awkward because it's kind of tilted, so you have to step in really carefully,
Sure.
and you trip over a couple of panels that have fallen
Bodies.
in.
Yeah.
There is a lot of debris in here, a lot of sand that's kind of pulled towards where this is tilted. Do you have to roll anything to make that communication?
Increase the difficulty of this task if the situation is stressful, if there are a lot of beings present, or if the target has resistance to telepathy or other relevant factors. So it does seem like it is a task to try and
Okay.
communicate telepathically.
In which case, this is going to be a difficulty 2.
Okay.
So, what would you like to use to kind of achieve reaching out? I feel like presence could be a good one.
Presence could be good.
Yeah.
Of the other ones, the only one that I kind of feel like would be relevant, I mean, I guess maybe medicine, but command seems to make sense.
I'll let you use either command or medicine, depending on why you're reaching out.
At this point, I think Tristan is basically, it's a first contact thing. He just wants to sort of kind of convey our intentions here are not to harm anyone.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead then and make me that presence command. Do you have a focus that would help you here?
I don't think so. Unless... No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. Go ahead. Make this test. You do have 2 points of momentum as well, remember.
Okay.
So it's difficulty
Yeah.
2.
Is everyone okay if I use 1 point
Take
to
'em.
get an extra?
Yeah. Go
Okay.
for it.
Take all the mental Xanax juice you need, my friend.
So presence command, I need to get under 15s. Let's see. Ooh, nice. That is 3 successes, a 6, a 12, and a 13.
Hot.
Nice. Okay. So you gained that momentum back. So you're still at 2.
Nice.
You reach out. What are you trying to communicate? Are you trying to talk to it? Are you trying to communicate a feeling?
Tristan generally, especially if it's a life form that he's new to, will generally try and communicate emotions and feelings rather than words straight off the bat. So he's trying to communicate a feeling of calm and respect, just kind of non-confrontational.
Yeah, you put this out, and it's challenging. It's like this, whatever this entity is that you're reaching out to, isn't actively fighting you, but like there is a block that you have to try and get past. And when you do get past it, it's almost, you get the sense that this entity isn't aware that you're here. In fact, the sense that you get is that maybe this entity is in a dreamlike or unconscious state.
Okay.
And there's something familiar about it.
Familiar.
Like something about the feeling this gives off, now that you're closer and you're here, is familiar to you.
Okay.
But it's so difficult because it's not giving you anything back. It's just like it's there.
I'm not. Whatever I'm sensing, I don't think it's awake, but it's giving me a familiar feeling. I don't think it's going to be immediately dangerous.
As you're talking, you can almost feel its presence drifting.
But it's
not
on
physically, but the strength of it
okay.
drifting. It's not getting further from you, but it is drifting away, like it's fading slowly.
It's fading. I think we should move.
All right. Siltec, if you want to check out the situation inside, and then Malko, as soon as Siltec gives you the clear, go ahead and go in and try and help whoever it is.
Yes, ma'am. He's got his phaser out, flashlight kind of crossed over his wrist, and he's just going to sweep the inside.
You sweep the inside, and you can see the inside of the shuttlecraft is wrecked. Anything made of fabric is shredded to ribbons. The screens in here that flicker on and off don't even display anything anymore, as they're almost like become frosted,
right,
from the storm that's passed through, and it's just like the kind of light behind them that flickers.
They were just ground down, basically.
Yeah. A lot of the metal panels look like they have been ripped loose and have been, again, they take on a kind of frosted metal look. There is this kind of glass silicate sand everywhere, and as you get deeper in towards the back of the shuttlecraft where it's actually leaning, it looks like it's pooled almost, like the sand has just come in and rested here. And it's there that you see a piece of white, slightly shredded fabric, not cut the way through, but scuffed up heavily, just poking out from the dune.
Oh, okay, I will. As the music builds, I will reach in and gently pull that out of the dune.
Can you just go ahead and make me a, what's this going to be? As you try to, you've got to try and move this sand as you try and pull this.
Yeah.
Make me a fitness and security test, please.
Oh, well, I guess it's got the best chance of this working. Okay, fitness is 11, security is 4, so 15. And I rolled a 12 and a 5.
Okay. It's tough. It's whatever you're pulling on, whoever this is heavy. And it's when you start kind of clearing some of the sand to give you room that you realize why. Because this person is wearing a suit almost identical to your own. And beneath a helmet, which is like the entire visor is just frosted. Like you've seen like really badly scratched up plastic.
Right, yeah.
It's like that. But you recognize the Starfleet insignia that sits across the outside of the suit. And as you keep pulling, and you find a bit of the helmet unscratched, just the peak that you can see, the shape of a Vulcan ear.
Oh, are they alive?
It's kind of hard to tell from here because the suit is obviously bigger than you, so there's no
Gotcha.
obvious breathing signs. But as you drag
Yeah.
and you see the insignia that sits across the front, there are enough pips here to indicate this is a captain.
Oh shit! Is this our captain?
Most likely
Okay.
is what you would
I'm
what
gonna
you would think.
Yeah.
gently cup underneath her arms and just kind of drag her out to get her out of the ship so Doc can take a look at her.
You can see her suit is in a bad condition. The tanks that sit on her back have actually the straps look like they have come off.
Right.
And it is still attached to her, buried in the sand beside her. And as you pull that out along with it, you can see the pressure gauges almost pretty much empty.
Okay.
They are dented. They don't appear to be split,
Okay.
but they're not in a good way.
Lyra, can you do something about that?
I can try.
I just saw someone in chat said, "Mark, we need your environmental suit now."
Oh no.
I want to, but also no.
No.
That was your mission, Mark. You were a hanger. Thank you.
Congratulations, you succeeded. Goodbye now.
Oh my goodness.
I want to see. So, number one, would there be backups of the tanks?
You would hope so,
Okay.
but searching through this craft would take some time.
Can I send Mark back to our ship?
You can.
Okay. I'm going to look at Mark and I'm going to say, this is your chance not to mess things up. I need you to go back and I'm going to give him a list of things that I need. And I need those tanks. I need the hoses that connect to the tanks. I need, and then like whatever tools I think I'm going to need to like quick fix it.
And most importantly, I need you not to die.
Yeah. You
I
got
would
5
like-
minutes.
I would like you to make me a presence command test,
Hell
please.
yeah.
I think that those are actually my worst.
Can I use my
So,
advisor
we go.
talent?
You can. What does it do?
When you assist another character using your command discipline, the character being assisted may re-roll 1d20.
Yeah. How is it that you're assisting? How are you giving this advice? As Illyria just starts like running off this information to Mark, who is like a little bit dumbstruck. He's looking at this figure and just like, what's happening? Yeah, no, I can get that. Yeah. Yeah. And you can see him mentally like mapping out where these things are as he tries to keep the list in his head.
I think Tristan is just being like the calming presence and sort of being like, now, Mark, you can do this. You have the tools, you have the skills, you have the training. You have got this, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Elira is going to have Mark repeat back to her the list of things that she needs quickly.
He actually, surprisingly, he takes a minute. He hears your question and doesn't answer you immediately. And he's just looking at you, Tristian. He's like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Takes a deep breath and lists off in very quick succession exactly what you have asked him to bring back to you.
Perfect.
However, I still need you to make that presence command test.
Okay. Oh, I dropped one. Okay. Well, my overall score that I had to beat was an 8.
Oh,
No.
Jordan.
No, the suspense.
Communications is playing up again.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
As
Damn
we see
this.
Illyria
sound.
talking and there's nothing coming through anyone's comms.
This always happens
we
to
go.
me.
There we go.
I, in the middle of my sentence, I was like, I froze, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I rolled the dice, and I rolled 1 5. I had to beat an 8. I rolled a 13, but I can re-roll it because of Yay.
Because of
Nice.
Tristian's advisor talent. Yeah.
Nice.
oh yay, it was a 4.
Nice. 2 successes. So you can have a point of momentum.
Look at those
And he
wholesome
lists
successes.
everything off. And you see with a kind of confidence that weirdly you both recognize you've kind of instilled in him in Tristian, and kind of taking that minute to calm him and reassure him, and in Illyria just giving him this whole list without any reservation. You see he gets a minute, he checks his watch, and he goes back towards your ship.
Alright.
You still have this figure here, though, that Siltec has dragged out of the sand.
I have a question.
Yes.
These suits, are they like modular? Like, could you pull a connector out of one suit and plug it into the other
Good
easily
question.
enough?
As in like the tanks? The tanks you could.
Yeah. Yeah. I think while they're doing that, Rose's just gonna like take her tank off and hook it up to that suit.
Nope, not a chance. Not a chance you are, Captain. Put that tank right back on and Siltec takes off his.
Is there a way to hook up 2 people to 1 tank?
You have a bunch of connectors with you, and I don't know why, but for the sake of narrative, I feel like Eleira was the kind of person that would like
take
these
5.
are small enough to put in my pocket. I'm gonna put these in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, she would.
100%.
All right. So Rose is in the
Okay.
process of taking that off, and then
That goes
it
right.
stopped.
I just walk up behind you and just put that tank right back on your back. No, ma'am. And I sling mine off.
I want to see if you can jury rig this.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to assist, you can.
I could hold.
As you're trying to kind of, this is a
I
kind
guess
of
I'll
like a mix
assist,
of
yeah.
engineering and some medical stuff as
Oh,
well, because you've got to figure out, how much can you divert before it starts affecting, because these suits
Right.
keep you cool.
Then I will
and they
hold
give
the
you
tank
oxygen.
while Malko and Eleira figure this out because they're the smart ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can I assist by
Tristian
being?
could probably assist in this too, because you can feel that the presence you were sensing is this figure in front of you, who is, you now discover, your captain.
Neat.
They are Vulcan. She is Vulcan, and therefore that's what the mental block you hit was, the kind of the training. The fact that that is fading tells you that she is dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Good find, Tristan. Good job.
Okay. Can I help with inspiration by chance? Or
I believe so. What does it do?
it's just a focus. So like just be inspiring, like tell them that they're doing a good job, basically.
Good job,
Yeah.
team.
Go team!
Can I use bardic inspiration in space?
I cast pizza party. Good job, team.
Always. Okay, who wants to make? So I guess Eleira is making the kind of main role here. It's probably either going to be Eleira or Malko making this main role, depending on if you want to hard play the engineering angle or if you're kind of hard playing the medical angle.
Yeah.
Well,
I
if
would
we're
say medical. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna go the other way. I was gonna say
Oh,
engineering.
really?
Both
Well,
trying
I
to pass the buck.
Either way, it works. The only reason I said medical is because you would have, I don't know. I'm down either way.
Because my thinking was like Malko would want to be focusing on any wounds or any sort of like immediate bodily damage, and then Eleira
There's
and
none
Ro.
that you can see from here. The suit appears to be intact. So if there
Okay.
are any injuries sustained, they're probably going to be like pressure and crush injuries that you're not going to be able to access here, because if you open the suit up, the toxic atmosphere begins to circulate.
Okay.
Um,
Then however you want to, if we
let's
think
go
of
with
medical,
medical. Let's
Okay.
have a medical roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then anyone who wants to assist, you can. I will let you pick which attributes and skills you want to do
Yep.
for that. You don't have to tell me. Just add them up. You roll 1d20. As long as Malko makes a success, everyone else's successes will count.
I
So-
will assist by not. Therefore,
I'm
not screwing this up.
So I think this is going to be
Sweet.
definitely going to be medicine, but I'll let you pick the attribute that fits best.
could we go with reason maybe? To try
Yeah.
and okay. So I'm just rolling 1 dice, right?
You're rolling 2. Everyone else is assisting.
Rolling two.
Is rolling 1.
Okay. Cool.
Make sure that you take into account any focuses, so you make sure you get any extra successes you need. Go ahead and make that roll.
Try to think.
In other words,
Because focuses would be surgery, xenobiology, infectious diseases, and
I'd say
triage.
surgery, because this has
Okay.
got a lot to do with
Yeah.
like oxygen flow and keeping the temperature down, which is very similar to what happens in surgery, keeping people's body temperature down, making sure their sats are up. So
Okay, cool. So it'll be okay. So I gotta beat a 16.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, so I have a 15 and a 16 on the dice.
Nice. Okay, that's 2 successes. What has everybody else rolled?
Oh,
Rolled a 3 for presence and command. My command is 4, and I've got the focus and inspiration. So is that 2?
nice.
Yes, that is 2. So it's 4 successes.
Sweet.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If I big failed,
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
does it matter or should I re-roll?
I mean, it's not gonna prevent the successes from happening. It just adds something that might be happening. Would you like to succeed at cost?
Oh, that's
That's a mean question.
it's such a mean question.
Which means you definitely succeed,
Right.
but there is something will happen. So you can save your reroll if you like.
No, I'll re-roll now.
Okay.
This is our primary objective. I think it's a good call.
Well, like, if I re-roll, can I succeed at cost if I fail that too?
No.
No.
So evil.
Okay, yes, you can. If you also completely fail that one
No,
and you want to
it's
succeed at
okay.
cost, you can.
Yeah, Virginia, it's a
It's a
cherry
slightly
stream,
greater cost.
Virginia.
Oh, I'm good. I succeeded. I succeeded.
You succeeded. That's
I
5
succeeded.
successes.
Everybody panic.
Amazing.
This is the most stressful I have had. Most stress I've had all week, and that's saying something.
It's fun stress though.
Wait,
I love it.
Yeah.
I have missed playing with you as the GM so much. This is
Totally.
amazing.
100%.
I assisted with reason and medicine. I got a 2 on the die. Would my medical tricorder focus
Nice.
apply?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'd say that you could be using that, like to
Okay.
kind of also, using your inherent kind of ability to sense what's going on, and also the medical tricorder,
keeping
pairing those two
vitals,
things up.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that another 2 successes?
I think so.
7 successes in total. This was difficulty 4.
Hear me out.
I can do math.
Security
you are
plus
now on-
fitness. Hear me out. Because I got to know if the suit's got any leaks, and the fitness tells me how it fits.
No.
I'm just going to give you another success for that. I don't know what to say to that
The
reasoning.
fitness in the suit.
Yeah, yeah.
5 points of
Argument.
momentum sitting in the bank right now. You all managed to pull this off. You divert some of the flow from, is it Siltec's suit that we're using?
Yep.
Into the captain's suit. And this happens just as Mark gets back. And he has like a,
Oh, you're
he's
not dead.
basically got like a large like metal bin, essentially, like stuff would be stored in, and is dragging it back full of the list of items that Eleira has
Hot damn, Mark.
mentioned. But when he comes back, he is panicked
Oh.
and he's out of breath. When I got back to the shuttle, there was a communication coming through, but I don't think it's coming to our headsets with the error. It was a distress call. They've gone to red alert aboard the ship.
Oh.
Ro's gonna immediately like put a hand on the shoulder, kind of hard because that's the suits. So like
Yeah.
so that he can actually feel it. I was like, "Good job, Mark. You did a good job." What did the message say exactly about the red alert?
I don't know. I only caught bits of it. It was crackled, like it wasn't coming through all of the time. It was really start. But something about going to red alert. Something about there was something aboard the other ship, the other vessel that we pulled in.
Oh.
They've locked down the bridge. That's all I got.
All right, good job. Let's get the captain here back to the shuttle, and we'll get back up and we'll assess once we get there.
Yeah, Siltec's already got the captain over his shoulder, ready to run to that shuttle.
As you go to pick her up and bring her over the shoulder, she reaches her hand out to grab at you.
Whoa, Captain.
She can't
Siltec.
see you. You remember now because her
Right.
helmet is just completely frosted across.
Captain, tap, tap, tap.
Who is it? Get off me.
Siltec. It's Siltec, Captain. We're here to rescue you.
Starfleet?
Yes, Captain.
We have to get back aboard my ship immediately. How did you get here?
Ma'am, your ship
you
is...
can see she's trying to look around and she can't see anything.
Ma'am, your ship is a loss. Your ship is a total loss. Do you know where your crew is?
The beacon. Oh, it was all a trap. All of it.
Ma'am,
You here? How did you get here? What ship did you bring?
we landed a ship. We should go, Captain. And I would kind of help her up and start walking with her. Captain.
She limps like there's something wrong with her leg, like it hurts her to stand.
Do you wish me to carry you?
No, I am fine. And this is odd because she sounds panicked.
Yeah,
And
it's like this is
none of
very
you-
odd for a Vulcan.
Yeah.
None of you have ever heard her panicked. It could be the result of some of the pain that she's in too.
Mhm.
As you begin to limp back to the shuttlecraft.
Elira's gonna have Mark help her carry the stuff we just brought over back.
if you want to, I imagine that on the way, because you're still going to be going at a slow pace, she can't move particularly quickly, and these suits aren't built for it. You could probably do like a rolling repair on her suit if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Pack it all back up, Mark. Thank you.
But yeah, so you do a rolling repair. Mark kind of pushes this bin across, and that's where you can kind of rest the broken satchel that she's wearing. As you know, you're going to have to walk side by side with Siltec in order to keep that going. But you get back to your shuttlecraft.
Awesome.
And you can see the kind of the message coming up, the red alert that alerts you something's going on the ship.
I
And
think
as you sit her
sorry,
down in the seat, as the airlocks close, she rips her helmet off. Takes a really deep breath of air. She looks dehydrated. The only reason she's probably survived this long is her kind of her Vulcan constitution, really. As she kind of sits for the first time, not bolt upright, but her hands on her knees. It was all a trap.
A trap from who, ma'am?
You know where we are, don't you?
No, ma'am.
pretty close to the Romulan border, Captain.
Acting captain.
Yeah, if that doesn't tell you our situation, it summed up. I'm not sure what would. Yep, I'm acting captain. Captain.
We are in a disputed zone. No one was supposed to know we were here. We were just cataloging planets. And this is kind of like as you're powering stuff up, I imagine Mark is being set to task.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rose flipping all the switches and prepping all the takeoff stuff while she's talking.
We'd already categorized this one, and as we were leaving the system, we got a pulse from it. A series of tones from the surface. So we thought it might indicate life. Something calling at us noticed our presence. We didn't think it was possible with the atmosphere and the temperature, but subterranean colonies have been found on other worlds. Worlds that have had the opposite of terraforming, really. So we went down. We didn't find anything exploring, and then one of those storms hits unexpectedly. The beacon was so far out. The rest of the crew are gone. That beacon, the technology, it was bait for the ship.
If that's true,
I didn't send that distress call. I assume that's what you got.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we are responding to a distress call, yes.
And if that was bait, we stepped right into that trap. And the initiative needs us.
Science vessel is no use to the Romulans. But a fully equipped starship. with this
Good.
level of technology, that is worth something.
Now we got to make sure they don't get it.
Well, not that they don't get it, but if they try to claim that this is Romulan space, science vessel, that's can be put down to exploration, to claiming that we were checking the charts,
Right.
that a starship
That's an act of
equipped
war.
with a phaser array and photon torpedoes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they'll probably use that to threaten war in exchange for concessions of more planets from the Federation if they stick true to tactics.
They lured us down there, knowing that our vessel wouldn't prove enough, hoping that somebody else would catch the distress call.
They wanted the initiative.
And they got her. Can we take
Well,
off?
I'm assuming the ship can take off. Like, it wasn't too bad of a landing,
No,
right?
you weren't damaged. For the sake of time, we will say that you can take off. You're not piloting during like the bad atmospherics that you were earlier.
Okay.
So you start
As
making
we
your way.
take off, I'm going to take the ship to red alert since we're in a combat possible situation. Is everyone okay with that?
The
Yeah.
ship is, yeah, but you do notice you
Red
see
alert.
the crackling message come through. The ship is at red alert. Somebody aboard there has already raised the alarm because they have locked down the bridge.
All right.
What is your plan from here as you are piloting back towards the initiative? You can
So-
see the Romulan bird of war that is up alongside her now. You imagine where they have boarded, potentially,
Crap.
or are waiting to board.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Can I assume that the initiative can tell where we are, like,
Yeah.
not geographically, but you know what I'm saying. Is there a way for me to disable that?
Yes. However, that would mean that you couldn't be beamed aboard.
Um,
It would essentially, more than anything, you'd be disabling like the location on the shuttlecraft and on your comm badges.
Oh, so maybe
That's-
not the best choice.
Well, that might actually be a good option. I have a quick question as well. The science ship was still fully functional. Nothing weird about it, right?
Not upon the first glance, but obviously, even a ship of a small size would take a. You don't have a full roster of crew. Remember, so
Yeah.
your priority was figuring out, looking at logs and checking stuff, not necessarily a full top to bottom security sweep of the ship.
Sure. But like, it didn't seem like it was damaged or anything.
Not that you could tell.
Okay. My thinking is a science ship is a lot better than just a shuttle, tactically speaking.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
got full transporters, probably a better phaser array, probably better shielding, and just as bigger. So we could go take that and sort of operate from there to try to get the initiative back.
I could also stay on board the shuttle, Captain. Keep him occupied.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea either. So if we could disable the initiative's transporters, that would probably be helpful, because then the Romulans can't use it for site-to-site transports.
Then I'll go and take those out. I'll drop you off on the science vessel, go back around, and take out those transporters.
Because it does seem like the initiative has been taken, right? Not just...
You're not really sure.
Okay.
You know that they've hit red. From what Mark told you, they have hit red alert. They have mentioned that there is some people aboard. The exact number of that, you're not too sure. The gist of it was, it sounds like they were on board the science vessel, and upon docking with the initiative, that is where they have transferred.
Okay.
And that the crew of the initiative have locked down the bridge to prevent access to it.
Right.
Okay.
So we definitely
we
want to lock down the transporters then, because we don't want them getting on board that bridge.
and our communications are still on the fritz in the shuttle, right?
They're on the fritz. You can attempt them. It's just gonna be more difficult to kind of get a message across.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking, and Ro will sort of explain the plan as they're flying up. We take the science vessel. Siltec can provide support with the shuttle. We use the science vessel to communicate with the bridge of the Initiative, get an actual sit rep, and then from there we can either act like the science vessel was having issues, and so that's why the Initiative is here, and try a diplomatic approach. It probably won't work, but we can at least try. And then if, assuming it fails, coordinate with the Initiative to take on the bird of prey and get the heck out of there. And Ro will look back at Captain, was it T'Pel?
Yeah.
Say, that work for you, Captain?
You are in charge. I am not medically fit to command.
I'm going to take that as a yes. Let's go.
She looks at you, Malko, as she says this, almost looking for some kind of confirmation that she is in fact correct.
He'll kind of look and just kind of give her a nod, and given your current situation, I do not believe you can right now.
There will be casualties aboard the Initiative if they boarded.
We'll deal with that when we can.
How did you find me?
Bro looks over to Tristan.
Coming to the rescue once again.
Do what I can.
Well, I suppose I am just a passenger here. Continue. And you can see she's really trying to hold up that strength, like she is wrecked.
What am I getting any feeling?
You are, and that's strange to you.
Yeah, because it's normally shut down.
You can tell that this is a woman who is physically at her limits, mentally at her limits, to the point that she is beginning to show signs of stress and distress, and which is unusual in all the time you have served with this woman. That's not, the kind of the suppression of emotion is a very Vulcan nature thing, and here it is, like the cracks are showing.
Oh dear.
So as Ro's punching it, actually, right before she pushes the engines, I think she'll just sort of speak over her shoulder and be like, "Oh, come on, Captain, you're never just a passenger." And then she'll punch the engines and get over to the science vessel as quickly as possible.
Okay. You get aboard the science vessel. Siltec staying aboard the shuttle, is that right?
That is correct.
The captain chooses to stay with you.
All right.
The rest of you board the science vessel, and you can see for yourselves this vessel is not very well equipped. It has a very, very minimal phaser array. It's not there's no photon torpedoes, no ablative armor. This is a as science vessel as you could get, as least threatening as possible. You imagine, but on purpose. Tristian, can you just go ahead and make me a let's see. Make me an insight command test for me, please. Difficulty 3. So you do have some momentum if you want to spend it.
I may. What's is this just?
I just want to get a sense of of your empath ability, and I guess some of that comes. It always felt like Tristian kind of had an intuition as well that was kind of linked to his experience with that, and just knowing a kind of what's going on around, and that kind of extra sense that gives you.
Okay, so I need 3 successes.
3 successes.
I've got a pretty good chance because presence plus command is 15. But I
Yeah.
might.
We've got lots of momentum.
Yeah, shall I grab a momentum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Ooh, okay. That is a 2, a 5, and
Damn.
a 13.
So that's all successes.
Nice.
Okay. Aboard this vessel, as you kind of walk through it, it's very odd. It's small, but these vessels are still big, if that makes sense. This is just like a very, very, very small starship, and even that is huge. And it feels very empty until you get closer to the bridge, and then it stops feeling empty. And it starts feeling like there's someone else here with you.
Uh-oh.
I sort of try and stop people from storming ahead.
Okay.
Captain, there's someone on the bridge.
Okay.
Do I get an emotional sense from...
Like an emotional sense, sorry, did you say?
Yeah, do I pick up how they're...
You do. Anger.
Okay.
And in some ways, kind of a smugness.
Sounds like Romulans.
Yeah.
That's what they're made of, anger and smugness.
Definitely feels very
At least the
Romulan,
military.
Captain.
So yeah, Ro's gonna say, all right, change of plans. We're going to engineering. Well,
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hear me out, because we can catch them by surprise and take them out, or put them in a room somewhere. But can I access like an electrical panel and cut a wire that will send off an alert but won't necessarily damage the integrity of the ship?
What alert are you trying to send off?
Something scary. Any ideas?
Well, what I was thinking is if we can get to engineering and if it isn't occupied, we could potentially transfer control of the ship to engineering from the bridge, lock down the bridge, and then fill it with some sort of not breathable gas.
I love that idea.
I mean,
which would require
probably like a medical wing aboard this ship, and you usually deliver anesthesia through gas sometimes. You do have a doc aboard with you.
Perfect.
If you wanted to go that route.
Yeah, maybe we swing by medical on our way to engineering, and yeah, Ro was planning on Illyria doing a lot of engineering trickery to make all that happen.
Okay.
I'm
Is
so
there
excited.
anything Malko or Tristian want to do specifically aboard the ship as part of this plan? Because you sense this presence here, Tristian. You're not sure if there's anybody else anywhere else.
Yeah. Is there a way? Do we have any way of checking to see if there's anyone else aboard right now?
Possibly from engineering. That's going to be like once you divert power, essentially anything you could do on the bridge, you can then do in engineering as a secondary kind of thing.
I think. Tristan's torn between like kind of wanting to, because he knows there's someone here, and that's dangerous. So he kind of wants to stay nearby here right now in case this person starts to move about the ship while we're trying to set anything up and then potentially isn't going to be there. So yeah, I think Tristan's going to request to stay behind to keep tabs on this individual, because we at least know that one person is there until we know if anyone else is aboard.
Okay, so the rest of you make your way down to medical to pick up any supplies that you need. Tristian, you stay nearby the bridge. There's a couple of kind of side rooms, like kind of briefing rooms and things like that that are up across there. And you can make your way into one of those and just try and keep a low profile. As you reach the medical kind of wing of the ship, It's not huge. This ship didn't have a large crew, so there's only a handful of beds. Fairly well stocked cabinets. What would you like to grab from here? There's a whole bunch of kind of, chemicals and medicines here that you could pick up if you wanted to do something. If you're looking at playing with the air filtration system, definitely. This is also the kind of labs section of the ship as well. So there are other things here that you could potentially try and feed into the vent system.
I think the idea of the anesthetic is probably the best, because he's not necessarily looking to cause any more issues. So knocking them out and then just trying to figure out where and what we want to do next is kind of his plan at the moment.
Okay, you can grab that, and then you make your way down to engineering. So now you have to try and take control of the bridge. Usually I would do this as an extended task, but we do have a little bit of a time limit, because there was a lot more messing with Mark than I anticipated. I underestimated how much we like to mess with the underlings. So I'm just gonna bring this down to a single roll. I am gonna increase. I'm gonna spend some of my threats. What have I got left? I'm gonna spend another 3 threat to up the complication range of this test. Eleira, this is really gonna be your job. You need to make me a control engineering test here.
Control engineering. Oh, yay. Okay, I like that.
As you're trying to basically lock down the bridge and divert all power and controls from there down to here, effectively killing any ability to control the ship from the bridge.
Okay, and how many successes do I need?
You're going to need 3 successes for this.
So, can I use some of the momentum?
Yes,
How many dice would you like?
yes.
Can I use 2 momentum?
So it'll be 3 momentum if you want 2 dice.
Oh.
I'm
How much
totally,
more right now?
How much you
I'm
got?
totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Can I also assist with the focus of helm operations to know how those systems work? Okay.
Yeah.
I might be able to get it done with just 1 extra die, but I don't want to risk it. Is that okay?
I'm totally fine with that. Yeah.
So you're using 2 extra dice, right?
Yes, and it was control
Okay.
engineering.
Control engineering.
Oh
Okay, cool.
man.
Anything
God.
17 or higher is a complication. What did you roll?
Well, with my 2 dice, I rolled a 1 and a 4.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I had to beat a 17.
Is your
So-
4 beneath your engineering skill?
Oh yeah.
That's 4 successes.
Damn.
You've still got 2 more dice to roll.
Come on, Ensign. I'll probably Lieutenant.
6 and a 9.
Damn.
Nice.
6. What did you roll, Raven? For row?
I got an 18. Is it 18? Yeah, 18.
18. So that is a complication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, you needed, I'm going to say 3 successes. So you get 3 momentum back. There is a complication. So you start rewiring things. And Eleira, it's like working like to the everything is immediate, because you know as soon as you start, the bridge is going to know. And Tristian, you realize when this starts happening because you start feeling panic. And you can probably hear from here the sound of alerts going off and alarms being triggered. From the room that you're in, you hear what sounds like the transporters
Oh, shit.
go off.
Not for long.
And Eleira, eventually you realize that you now have full control of the bridge from engineering. The bridge is locked out, and the only way to reverse that would be for somebody to come down here and reverse what you have done.
Okay, I froze out for a second. We said that we heard the transporters go off.
Tristian would have done. 'Cause
Oh,
he's not too far from the transporter room.
okay. Never
Oh.
mind.
That is the complication, that the transporters appear to have been used before you can take control of those two.
Okay.
One quick note, we just got a 600-pound donation from Melissa. Melissa, thank you so much. That took us well over 4,000 pounds. Amazing, people. Thank you.
That's so awesome.
Amazing.
So awesome. In which case, I am going to. What should I do for that? All of you
Hell yeah.
can have a free success to use.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, heck
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump over very quickly as Tristian is left hearing the transporters, and the last thing you realize is you feel another two presences nearby. Concern, smugness, and anger. And a sense of like they're looking for something. Siltec, you're
Yeah.
aboard the shuttlecraft. You don't really have full-on communications anymore. But I'm going to say that you get enough communication, just that snippet that tells you that Eleira has taken control.
Yeah. Since I was circling back around to turn off, like to focus on the transporters, did I see a reading of them going off? Did I notice that while I was in
You
the
would
ship?
have done, yeah. You would have noticed. Not it looks like you got a reading from the transporters on not the Romulan
Right.
warbird, which is just kind of sitting there.
Right.
But definitely from the Initiative, and then same reading appearing on the science vessel.
Are the Romulans' shields up?
They are not.
Can I teleport aboard the Romulan ship?
You may attempt to do so.
That is what I am going. I'm going to pull up alongside and teleport aboard their ship.
Those things have so many troops on board. I have concern.
Stress.
Concern is strong. I say warbird. I shouldn't say warbird.
Okay.
Like a mini warbird.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
kind of thing that like
Like a
like
warbird coupe, like a little two-seater warbird.
Starfleet have sent this kind of science vessel that looks very unintimidating.
Yeah.
The Romulans have kind of done the equivalent. It just doesn't work as well because everything they make is made for war.
Right. It's the
But
least
it's the
scary
kind of thing that you would recognize is essentially like a small warbird, but is like it's a thing that they would claim it's an exploratory vessel.
Yeah.
What do you mean like torpedoes? I don't know what
Right.
you're talking about.
Right. It's a scout with lasers. Yeah.
It's science
Yeah.
torpedoes. Like,
Yeah.
They're strictly for removing difficult to navigate asteroid fields.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me. Oh God.
Let's do something dumb.
Daring is usually used for fighting,
Yeah.
but I'm going to make you use daring in this case.
Okay.
And engineering.
Daring
Because
plus.
you can't just like beam aboard a not a
Sure.
Vulcan, a Romulan ship.
Yeah.
You've got to get past. They have their own security and processes. They don't use exactly the same tech as the Federation.
I have a focus of espionage. Does that help me out at all here?
That 100% does.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a total of 10 I have to roll under.
You do have 4 points of momentum.
I might be spending those. How many extra dice can I get?
Without giving me any threat, you
Yeah.
can get 2 extra dice.
Do you
If you
guys-
want to give me 2 points of threat, you can have 3 extra dice, and you do have a free success to use. It's difficulty 4.
I'm definitely going to use the free success. Can I get those 2 points to roll 2 more dice? So can I roll 4 dice total?
You
Is that
want
okay with everyone?
Yeah, sure. So that leaves you with 1 point of momentum in the back.
Everyone agree?
Yep.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to roll 4 dice.
4 dice. So you've already got 1 success. You just need 3 more.
I have an 18, a 9, and a 10, and then 5, and then a 5.
So that
9,
is
10, 9, 10, 5, all under.
9, 10, and 5. So that is 4 successes total. It takes a little while because you got to try it. You're trying to remember some things that you were taught from your more Cardassian roots of some of
Mhm.
the espionage.
All of
And
Mom's like old lessons that she taught me, like when I was 6, instead of a bedtime a story, I got here's how you
Yeah.
hack into a Romulan's, shuttle. Yeah.
This one time when I was younger, and she
Yeah.
tells you, there was a story about the time that she hacked a transporter, and you desperately try to envision like your 6-year-old self hearing the story again.
Yeah.
And as you attempt this, knowing that if it goes wrong, you could be spread into a million particles floating around in who knows where, some holographic array, you get ready, the transport goes, and you find yourself standing inside the transporter room of a clearly very Romulan ship. There is no one else around currently, but you are here.
I'm going to, as the camera pans off me to the rest of the group, I think I'm going to slowly make my way to the bridge.
Okay, and that's where you start heading.
Yeah.
Back to our crew, though. The captain, by the way, calls you insane, threatens to write you up, asks how you even know how to do this, like as you're programming it, and in a very like tired Vulcan tone. She's only half with it. But panning back to the rest of the group, you now have full control. Tristian, you sense 2 other people who start making their way towards the bridge.
Am I able to safely communicate this to?
Yeah, you can use your comm
Okay.
badges.
Yeah.
They are now working now. The problem was with the comms in the shuttlecraft, not your personal
Okay.
comms.
So yeah, I will. The others know. We have. There's 2 more heading towards the bridge.
All right. As long as they're not heading towards engineering, we can let them get to the bridge and then flood it.
Okay.
Can we lock them in?
Already locked.
They're
bridge.
already locked in. So
One of them's already locked in. The 2 that have just transported
okay,
are
never mind.
not.
Oh,
They
okay.
would
Can
they're
we-
going to
lock 'em
find
in.
it locked, and then I think they're going to be headed straight to you.
Question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, you go. I'm ready.
Since we have control of the ship, we have control of the transporters. Yeah.
You do now.
Can we just transport those 2 into the bridge and then flood it?
Oh, I forget in TNG you can beam within the ship, can't you?
Yeah, site-to-site
Is that-
transport's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, is that anyone?
You tell I'm a TOS fan. You could certainly attempt it.
This is amazing.
Before we do that, though, I want to ask Malko, what are you doing right now? As like this, you can hear this plan beginning to hatch over in the other corner of engineering.
At this point, he probably would have grabbed like, I don't know if there's like smaller tanks of like just anesthetics to be used for like venting into there, or however, like basically just grabbing the anesthetic just so it was part of it, and just he's ready to take a non-lethal route, but yeah, it just kind of I don't know, he's kind of waiting on Rose kind of updates, I guess.
Okay. So you want to try and transport them into the bridge before you let off this anesthetic gas into the air system.
Yeah.
Okay.
With any luck, maybe they'll think that someone on like the bridge got control and just beamed them onto there. Like they won't. They'll be a little surprised. Is the hope?
Okay. In which case, then I think we should do a kind of like a combined test that will combine everything together. So I think the main core of this is, you want to flood the bridge either way, right? Regardless of whether you're successful in transporting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want Malko to make this test with a either control or daring and your medicine, as the main thing is flooding the bridge. And then what I want is Eleira and Ro to assist. Using Eleira, I don't mind what attribute you use, but you're going to be using engineering because you are trying to operate the transporters and do that site to site across. And then Ro, I want you to assist using your command and whatever attribute that you, or con even, I think, because I think you're the one who is kind of programming the venting system as it goes through, because you are kind of the person who would have the authority to kind of issue those kind of commands.
Would daring work for the attribute for this one?
Daring would work, yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm going to say in total, this is a difficulty 3. If you hit 3, you'll get everything.
Nice.
If you hit 2, you'll only manage to transport one of them.
Oh.
If you hit 1, you'll just get the one who's already in the bridge, but the other 2 won't be affected.
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I keep smacking my microphone. Sorry about that.
Could I potentially use a surgery focus so I'm not using too, like, just enough, like I know kind of just enough, the right amount of gas to kind of help pump in so that they don't...
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's you know, you don't want to kill them with it. You just want to...
That's fair.
Incapacitate.
Yeah. Put him...
Sorry.
Make him go to sleep.
This roll's making me nervous. I haven't even rolled it yet.
Okay.
All right.
So don't forget, you have a free success if you want to use it.
Okay.
And Eleira and Ro, if you want to use your free success instead of rolling, you can. It's up to you.
I already rolled and I got a nat 1.
Nice.
Well, that's good because I rolled and I got a 19.
Oh no!
Okay. I got a 10 and a 17, so that's at least 1.
1, yeah. So you got at least 1 success. Ro got 1. Eleira, using your reroll, not reroll, your free success instead of your dice roll.
Yeah.
So
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can. So that's 3 successes.
Nice.
And it's, you start slowly feeding this into the vent system, and you can start to see the kind of warning levels of the bridge. The bridge's airlock, which is what you've done, you've airlocked it essentially, start to ring alarm bells. And Tristian, you can feel panic rising, and then it's slowly subsiding. And then at the same time, those 2 presences, which you started to feel come towards your direction as, like you predicted, they couldn't get into the bridge, so started heading down to engineering, disappear and are further from you now, and also begin to fade until they're just a background hum. I know we're running over a little bit, so I hope folks don't mind and everyone's good.
Yeah.
So we'll do some montagey time skip stuff, I think, here.
Oh, fun.
We'll jump back over to Siltec. You are aboard the ship. You make your way to the Romulan bridge.
Yeah.
It looks like the ship can probably be piloted with maybe 4 or 5 people. It's clearly a very small scouting ship that can be easily disguised, as a science vessel or some other exploratory vessel. What are you doing here on the bridge, as you seem to kind of have it to yourself?
I was gonna see what they were doing, but if there's no one there, I'm immediately gonna go for their instruments and try and tap in and see what they've been doing. Like, I want to look at their logs.
I'm going to say, since you hacked the transporters, this is a piece of cake for you with your espionage focus. It looks like they had reported spotting a Starfleet vessel.
Mm-hmm.
The command had come back and said that the vessel itself wouldn't be enough to point out and kind of show the Federation up of, look, you're invading this bit of space that we're claiming is actually ours.
Right.
But it's also of little value to the Romulan Star Empire. It's not even like a good science vessel. It's the bare minimum. It's not fancy and new, but it could be used as bait. It looks like they had seen it coming through this planetary system,
right,
and had planted that beacon on the planet purposely in the hopes that the vessel itself, because some vessels are capable of landing on the planet, the Initiative is because it's based on Voyager.
Yep.
Can do planet landings, or a shuttlecraft would go down. The planet would be inhospitable, unable to return. That would then call out a bigger rescue ship.
We all got suckered. All right.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to.
And that would be either grounds for, hey, look, you sent a big starship with lots of weapons on it over here, or they could capture it and take it for technology.
All right.
And it looks like what they've done is they've basically baited you.
Right.
And this small team are now waiting for a bigger ship to arrive to kind of really do the takeover.
All right. I'm going to slide that information about them, setting us up into my tricorder to take with me. Then I'm wiping all their logs. I'm wiping all the data they had finding of us. As soon as I'm done wiping their logs, I'm pulling shields up and I'm hailing that ship as I turn their weapons towards it.
The other ship hasn't started to arrive yet.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. The ship that we came originally to rescue that they've boarded, I'm going to turn their ship's weapons on that ship and hail them. Yes, exactly.
Okay, so sorry, are you pointing weapons at the Initiative or the science vessel?
At the science vessel. I bought the vessel that the Romulans have boarded. That's the one I'm pointing.
Just make me a daring. I'm going to call this daring security, because I think knowing to wipe data can also fall under that kind of security.
All right.
Security is supposed to be physical for people watching at home, but we play fast and loose with the rules here.
All right, 4 + 8 is 12. I'm rolling 2.
I'm going to give you difficulty 2 for this.
I got a 17 and a 15.
Would you like to succeed at cost?
I would like to succeed at cost, I think. Yeah, I think that's yeah.
As you're doing this, you manage to wipe everything and you turn the weapons on the science vessel. All of you aboard the science vessel now can see that this Romulan ship has activated its shields and its weapon systems are now targeted on the science vessel.
I should have hailed them first.
You hear a voice behind you, Siltec.
Right.
Can I help?
Oh, Siltec just like
It's Mark.
Oh, Mark!
That's where Mark went.
What the hell are you doing here, Mark?
You all just left me in the back of the ship and didn't tell me where to go. So when I saw your transport, I hit the button again, except tied it to me.
Jesus Christ.
Hi.
No, I got you. Okay. Scare the heck out of me, Mark. Yeah, just tell them, contact the other ship, tell them to give it up, because we got their ship and our ship and all the other ships. Just tell them to give up.
You want him to give the order?
I want him to contact them. Yeah, I'm captain now. Go ahead. Put me through.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yep.
Wait, if we've taken this vessel, does that make you captain?
It makes me captain. That's right. Tell them they're captain summoning them.
Does that make me first officer?
Yeah, sure, whatever, Mark. Yeah, you're first officer. First officer Mark. Come on, Mark. Do the thing.
And he takes a deep breath in, and all of you hear over the comms something to the effect of, "Hey, Romulans, we've got your ship. There's no one on here." It's kind of cool, really, actually. Anyway, I'm the first officer now, so stop. Just a really confused
Nailed it, Mark.
jumble of command.
Before
Nailed it.
anybody can say anything to them, Eleira is at the comms station saying, "You two need to sit down in chairs and stop touching stuff."
Siltec sits down in the captain's chair, as he was told.
Mark looks around, and I don't know why, but in my little Trek headcanon here, there are no other seats in this bridge.
Hey.
Everyone stands.
Hey.
That seems like a very Romulan thing to do. I don't know why.
I think that actually is how they work in this
And
era.
just awkwardly looks around and just goes to sit on the arm of the captain's chair and then thinks better of it, and it's just just puts his arm on a panel.
I'll take that. That works. Good job, Mark.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, Ro comes over yeah, good job, Captain Siltec, but I'm sorry, we won't be surrendering the vessel at this time.
Oh, I'm
also,
sorry.
those promotions aren't permanent.
And you hear a voice as Mark comes through. No, I meant the Romulans. You're okay, Captain, not you, Captain. Captain, I'm...
It's okay. It's confusing.
Roach
She's
just-
captain. I'm temporary captain.
Ro just tries her best to keep a straight face, and a little bit of that laughter comes through her in her voice. Like, good job, Mark. Good job.
Good job, Ensign Mark.
Eleira looks at Ro and goes, "We can't leave them alone for 5 minutes. 5 minutes."
I mean, I did.
Christian, I know that you normally have to be like in the vicinity of somebody to feel what they're feeling, but what you get here is pure, unadulterated excitement from the two of them on that ship.
Radiating.
We're
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
happy.
it's so strong.
Just two idiots as pleased as can
It's like
be
a
right now.
beacon in the stars. I just feel it. Yeah.
I would like to hail the initiative.
Yeah.
Who answers the hail?
As you do this, like I imagine that at this point you're kind of on like an open comms
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
this, and you hear Mark being like, "I'm not on the."
Mark, don't tell people.
Not talking to us.
Oh, I can see one.
And
the
someone on
screen.
the other end answers, and it is you just get, "We are in command of this vessel now,
Oh, fuck.
and another is on its way. I would surrender your ships, including ours, and you will be taken back to Romulus to stand trial for trespass and warmongering."
Yeah, you see, that's not really gonna work for us over here. Captain Siltec, I've got
Yes,
them on the
ma'am.
other line there. Did you say your name was? Captain Siltec, what did you find over there? Anything important?
I just happened to found this whole setup where they planned the beacon and everything, Captain, and I throw all the data right onto the screen.
Oh, that looks
Federation lies.
really bad
They're
on the
your
Romulan
lies,
Empire.
Romulan. You can do whatever you want with us, and I know you don't like my kind too much there, but this is already out there, captains, and they're going to see it. And they're going to know it was all a setup. You're not going to get your
Like
wall.
they would believe a Cardassian spy.
Turns out that they do. And Cardassian, son of a spy. Thank you very much.
You hear Mark briefly in the background. I can't tell who's talking anymore. Who's on what shit? Just
just
like
got-
you can just hear him asking questions to Siltec. in
No
the
matter
back.
what they say to you, just say something kind of mean back where you sound arrogant. I've seen every captain do it. It's fine. We're good. Are you good?
You suck. Is what on the mic.
You just hear it, Lyra, in the background go, "Oh."
Bro just sort of clears their throat. Yes, thank you. Anyways, from what I can see here, you were the aggressors in this situation. I show no records of any Starfleet weapons being fired. Legally boarded one of our vessels, and we have responded by taking these two ships, and you can surrender and have your ship back and be on your merry little way. Or we can start a intergalactic incident, which would be very unfortunate for everyone.
But cool.
And no,
Mark
Siltec.
in the background
Sorry.
is like, yeah, that would be kind of
It
cool.
would be
wouldn't
so
it?
cool, wouldn't it? No, but you're right. No, we can't do
all
that.
of the
Yeah.
all of the phase. I've
Oh,
never
it'd be
seen
so
a photon
cool.
torpedo
We could
go
fire
off
3 ships at
Can
once.
Look.
in the bridge.
Can Eleira bump Siltec and Mark from the comms?
Yeah, it's like they're a mute button.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
We're
We'll
idiots.
just look over and nod
Easily.
like, thank you.
We still think we're going, so we're still talking to each other.
It's just the two of you discussing. Like Mark's just like, I've never seen a photon torpedo go off
Wait.
in the bridge. What does
Oh,
it
I know.
look like? But it
Oh,
looks cool.
Wait, I think I hit mute. Can you unmute me? How do you? Does it to us
it's
two
the
idiots?
two of them
Yeah.
pressing the same button, going, "Can you hear me yet?"
No, I
Hello?
can't. Can you hear me?
Can I also?
So glad we can't hear this.
Jordan.
No, no.
Oh no.
It's a good freeze face on her too. She's
It
so
is.
intense
It's
right
great. It
now. She has a question and she's gonna ask it.
There we go. What's the question?
Okay. Can I also send up like messages on their computers of like essentially like light up little error lights, but like every time they make it all the way over there, they just like die out. So they're like running across the bridge to like different stations.
I'll let you spend a point of momentum to create that as
That's
a thing
great.
that's happening.
Can I do that?
So yeah, that's the kind of like between the really tense diplomatic talks, we cut to the scene of the two of them being like, "Where is it coming from?"
Where is it? They just keep lighting up.
I think for time we have got most of this resolved because you have all the evidence.
Yeah.
And if it's okay with Darby, I would like to invite Darby to tell us how the situation here is resolved.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
From kind of Tristian's point of view, and what's his role in this? Because this is going to be a diplomatic thing.
Yeah.
And this stream is all about you. So I'd like this to end in a way that is satisfying for you. How would Tristian like to see this end up?
I think Tristan's goal first and foremost is to end all conflict as peacefully as possible. Violence is always the last resort for Tristian, and I think going off the back of our new captain's gambit there, he's going to push for that. He's going to point out the fact that you can go back and try and peddle this story, but the initiative doesn't exist. There's no record of it ever having been here now. That no one's going to believe you. And if you push this now, there is enough of us to kind of take you out. And we don't want to have to do that. We just want to
Some of us do, but we'll hold
back. You can go on your way.
You can't hear this call over in,
I know.
over in the wrong
I know, I'm so
You're
sad
still
about
running
it.
back and forth trying to fix fake errors.
And he's going to just
Why am I still muted?
Tristan's goal is to just walk away.
I like to think that is the kind of the real diplomatic thing that gets pushed across, because it doesn't come from a captain who, the Romulans to some degree kind of like, you're the responsible one and have it out. It comes from Tristian, the kind of the walk away speech, like, this is enough. And maybe it's something about the way that you make people feel with having that kind of empathy and being able to really target what they're feeling to make your words have impact. That a small truce is called. They get their ship to return back in. They still do a lot of blabber about, don't come back here, this is our lands. We will, this is a mercy that we're showing you. They flip it so that they're the bigger guys. But I think that happens. Yeah. You come back to the initiative, your captain is well taken care of. Mark and Siltec, I like to imagine, return, talking about how cool that is, having taken the equivalent of like 300 different selfies inside the bridge.
Yeah, we're best friends now. Totally.
So I guess we'll finish up. I'd like to ask where you see all of your characters at the end of this, because the way that I think about it is that perhaps Ro does take command of the initiative. Siltec does become the first officer. Malko becomes the chief medical officer aboard the initiative again, and you're all put back together as a crew for another adventure, because this is not the last adventures we're going to have, my friends. I promise you that.
That's right.
I love that.
I love it.
And I also love the idea that Mark actually does get like a proper promotion, and is maybe like put in charge of like the transporter or something like that. Like he becomes a transporter chief.
No.
He becomes Siltec's personal assistant. It's not a real promotion, but it is. Like it feels like a promotion.
He's
like
works.
the second first officer.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I mean, there is a second officer position, but he could also be like the Wesley of this crew, where he's just acting as this role. And then periodically we tell him to shut up.
He and Siltec, best friends.
Yep.
Tristian, Mark constantly comes to you for kind of like that pep talk, that understanding.
Yeah.
He starts to look at you like a big brother.
That's great.
Mark is constantly visiting you, usually before or just after Siltec, as the two of them get into some kind of trouble. The injuries are always matching because they both do the same stupid shit.
We both broke our leg.
Probably bothering Eleira down in engineering, going, "What does this do?" and touching something, and, injuring themselves, and then Siltec comes along, and goes, "Oh wait, what did you do?" and does exactly the same thing.
100%. At least 3 times a week.
But none of them managed to break the holodeck yet.
That's right.
But
But
I
it
think
constantly smells like horses.
I'm just imagining the crew taking Mark horseback riding and
Yeah.
it just going horribly wrong.
Yeah.
That could be a whole other adventure.
Hey, wait till I take him roller disco.
Oh yeah.
This is the montage you get, friends, as it fades, as we fade out of the episode, is Mark trying his very hardest on the bridge with Ro. Turns out Mark was the lens we viewed it through all along. Annoying Eleira down in engineering by touching things that he shouldn't. Learning to roller disco with Tristian.
Yeah.
Constantly being patched up by Malko, and he's in there like every 2 days with some new terrible injury, and that recommendation for a civilian role is just so close. And horseback riding with Siltec, but he's probably like half off saddle,
Yeah.
like foot caught in a stirrup, just like ah!
Yeah, because because like my teaching is like, okay, you're on full gallop. Let's go.
Smacks the horse on the hind, and
Yeah.
it's just and that's how we close up, our entire crew laughing at Mark as he gets
Almost
on a
killed.
wild ride on a horse in the holodeck and runs off into the distance screaming. I hope you've all enjoyed this, friends. Star Trek's so hard to do in a one shot for me.
Yeah.
There's so
You were
much
great.
investigation and stuff
You
to go on, and
nailed
it's
it.
really hard to get all the elements in. But I hope this was fun for everybody,
Hell
especially
yeah.
you, Darby. I hope you enjoyed playing this.
This has been
So
a dream come true. I've missed this crew so much, and I'm so very happy that we all got back together to do this. And I hope it isn't the last time that we
oh heck
go
no,
on some journeys.
heck no.
No, we're getting
I am
back.
down for playing Trek whenever.
We're gonna make
so-
Mark an admiral. Come on.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna
It's
happen.
gonna be a very, very long campaign.
We'll be 80. He's
Hey, look,
almost
what I'm
there.
saying is it's spooky month
Yeah.
very soon.
That's
And if
true.
you want a spooky Star Trek game,
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Anyone who wants a
please.
spooky Star Trek game, please type spooky in our chat so we can see that. That would be very helpful. Thank you very much, because I want a spooky Star Trek game very, very much, please. I'm going to go ahead and start that off by
Be
typing
ashamed to waste
spooky.
the overlays that Aram has spent so much time making.
Oh
as
my
well.
God.
Would be a
Right?
shame.
Yeah, they're
So-
These are
amazing.
incredible.
I can add some
Maybe we'll
pumpkins.
talk after this, folks, and we'll sort out a spooky Star Trek.
Yeah, there's an
one-shot or
orange alert,
something.
right? We can figure this out.
You can alert.
We
I
can make
love
it happen.
Hell yeah.
Pumpkin alert, I love that.
Look,
Pumpkin
we've already
alert.
broken the canon so much. Why not just keep going?
Why not? We have fun. It's great.
Captain Freddy Krueger's hailing us.
I have ideas that involve holodecks.
Oh no.
Oh
I'm a
no.
really big horror movie
Yeah.
fan, folks. You've
Oh.
just given me
Same,
an idea.
same.
Oh, I'm
God,
down
so
for
many people are
that.
talking
Ready.
spooky in chat. I don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Well, we're going to sort this out, friends. But thank you for playing. Thank you for everyone watching who's come in for the stream. You obviously know what we're doing the stream tonight for. It is for the wonderful Darby. who is- I
Yeah.
don't know which side of the screen Darby is on the stream.
You had it
chat.
right.
This
You had
way?
it right. Yeah.
There we
That
go.
way, yeah.
There you go.
So if you haven't already and you're able to, make sure you go down to the GoFundMe. I'm sure there's a command in chat
Yep.
that I don't know.
Can do it right
Um,
now.
And drop a couple of pounds if you enjoyed watching this and want to support somebody who is an incredible role player, an incredible friend to so many people here, a super talented artist.
Yep.
And it's just overall like one of my favorite people to play games with.
Literally one of the best
um,
people we all know. So yes, absolutely.
And I can't remember what game Darby and I first played together. It might have been Trek. It might have been this one. I feel
It
like there was
was.
one before that, but I'm not
No.
sure. But it was Trek.
Yeah.
And
It was-
yeah, I've been wanting to get Darby back at a table ever since, because I think you're all, I mean, all of these folks are awesome, by the way.
yeah.
You should go check all of them
No,
out. But Tonight is about Darby and, you know, celebrating how awesome Darby is and making sure we can get you the help you need, friend, because everyone deserves it.
Hell yeah, man.
Everyone deserves some help, and this community loves you very, very much.
And I love this community very much, and I love all of you very much. Thank you so much for doing this. I had such an amazing time.
We love you, man.
There is more track in the future, friend. Don't worry.
I can barely do this heart because of my arthritis. That's how much I love you. All right. I think that's it.
All right.
We all set? All right.
We're all set. I think this is the crew of the USS Initiative signing out for now.
We love you guys. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
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 My name is Aram. Well, we're amazing.
He, him. I'm the
Oh, that was so good.
Overran a bit, friends. I was
Play
really
Dungeons
trying
and Dragons
to,
podcast. God's
to like get as much
My
in as
name
I
is
could
Dylan.
for everybody,
My pronouns
but
are
it's
he, him.
so difficult with tracks to like get all of the science and the
Welcome
medical and
to
the
kill
like
every monster.
command and everything into one session. So
Amazing. Amazing. Nailed
was
that.
amazing.
You absolutely nailed that. You were all
Yeah.
great. You were a perfect GM, Virginia. You
I-
rolled
Oh,
with
we're
it.
not
We're
muted,
not-
by the
we're
way.
not muted.
We're featuring the Banshee.